We are in the thick of day 3, and Group C has been delightful to watch. BDS losing early on, but how will they fare today? That is the big question. I'm Jackie Jang, and I am with Fresh and Anne. Anne, your makeup looking fresh, though, if I do say so myself. Okay, close up on Anne, please. I love it. Anne's like, no, we don't need
I'm
to do
fine.
this. Actually, fresh looking fly, too, with this shirt.
Thank you, Jackie.
We're all just styling today, okay? Should
like
I
your
say, we're
space
looking
buns, too.
fly. Thanks. Is my hair
Great.
fly?
Yes.
I'm never saying that
You said
ever.
fly was old, like literally 10 minutes ago.
I said, nobody says fly.
Yeah.
And then you've just...
Sino said on fleek. I haven't heard on fleek in like 5 years. Anyway, we digress. We have a face-off to talk about here, so let's do it. BDS went down day 1, but you know what? We're going to see how they do today. Will they beat Los One? Will they? Is it too early to ask for predictions?
My predictions are in the mud, like I said yesterday, so I'm not sure if I'm the one to be asking who's going to be winning.
Okay.
You'd expect them to win, right? If you look at standings, yes, BDS didn't have the greatest of first games coming into this tournament. It might have been a little bit of a fluke because they regained themselves, and obviously, seeing them at the top now, we're hoping that they can keep up that pattern.
Yeah, for sure. I do want to zone in on Los One. Fresh, you know, they've secured a point. Let's give them some credit there, right? But again, they're playing BDS. This is going to be a test for them, I think.
I think so. I think yesterday was quite a tricky opponent to go up against when they played Cyclops. And then I think today they're out of one fire and then just straight back into another fire. Completely different style of team that they're going up against. And, you know, they do come into this fixture as the qualifier team. They will come into it as the underdog. So they're going to have to try and basically work every advantage they possibly can against BDS today.
So, Anne, Los One looked a little unpredictable at times yesterday. They can be aggressive, too. I'm wondering, is that BDS's kryptonite?
It might be. If you look at how BDS played against Cyclops, well, Cyclops was quite aggressive too. We know that Cyclops can be in your face, and BDS did have some difficulties adjusting to that. We also saw from Los One yesterday that they did pick the same defensive bomb site 4 times in a row. I think if you do that against BDS, they will know how to respond to that, same as what Cyclops did. So they'll need to be a little bit less predictable than they were yesterday.
Okay, let's focus on BDS a little more. They've been the talk of the town. I mean, how many times have we said BDS already during this pre-show? And I think many brackets had them winning all of SI, but real talk, do you think that they've recovered from that Cyclops loss?
Well, yeah. I mean, Cyclops is a very unpredictable team, right? People were saying, oh, if BDS is going to lose against anyone, it would be Cyclops, for example.
Yeah.
Luckily, they regained themselves and they got a victory yesterday. They're looking, obviously, to continue that pattern. We have to keep in mind, right? They did win the Jönköping Major, and once you win a Major, that next event, you'll have a big, big target on your back because you were the one to defeat.
Okay, Fresh, it's been the Shaiko show. I'm going to be honest. Like, pretty much that's been all of SI, in my opinion. Yeah. But EFAC, also very vital to the squad. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I believe we've got a graphic to show these two players up, if it comes up at some point, is that these two players, people say, oh, they're the 2 fraggers of this team. So I wanted to pull up a graphic. Guess who's the fragger? I would say it's Shaiko, and this is a big highlight. You know, Shaiko is the pure fragger. He's probably the best rated player, one of the best rated players in the tournament so far. Likifak has played 16 different operators so far in the games that BDS have played. On attack, he is the most versatile player in this tournament.
Okay.
He is the only person that's played 16 attacking operators. There's a couple on 15. So what we wanted to highlight here isn't that just that Likifak is a great fragger, it's that he is very versatile in terms of the flex operators. You know, he's playing Breacher, Thatcher, Shields, whatever you want, he's playing them. And according to BDS as well, he does a lot of shot calling and IGLing as well. He is almost the complete player.
How do you feel about his performance overall, though, for Likifak?
He's been very strong. I mean, both him and Shaiko are kind of statistically, they're the 2 best players on BDS, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, he's slotted into the system and he's provided BDS with, because let's not remember, stage 3 was his first stage in tier 1 competition. This guy is still, for all intents and purposes, a rookie. So to see him do so well already is absolutely incredible.
I don't want to throw any shade here. And do you feel like they're kind of carrying BDS in ways, or?
Yeah, in ways you could say that. Yeah, they are two very strong performing players on this roster, but we know that BDS has a really solid backline as well with support players. We saw it yesterday. Bride just simply clutching out that last round on Clubhouse, for example. You should never count a player like Bride out either. He's a really, really good supportive player.
I'm not sure if you just see that, but I think the most difficult fight...
Is he eating a banana right now?
Yeah, but...
This is
One
so
more
casual.
bite. One more bite.
What I was actually going to highlight was I think the most difficult fight Alems is going to have today was with his chair.
Oh,
he couldn't get the
I saw
chair
that,
into
yeah.
the
Oh
position.
no, I missed that. Oh, poor Alems. Okay, but Fresh, we actually have map bans up, so I'm gonna let you all, oh wow, I'm gonna let you all dive in here.
We
Okay.
need to speak about this. Phila, hello?
Yeah. We're not sure about that.
No.
I think, you know, and this is, sometimes we just come on the desk and we're sure about what teams are going to do. For BDS, they've got two bans that they do not play. They do not play inside the best ones. You generally not see them play it inside the tournaments. Those two maps are Villa and Chalet.
Yep.
The last one have been able to pick Villa, which, by the way, they were unreal on in the qualifiers to qualify for this tournament, and the deciders going to Chalet as well.
Exactly, yeah. The first out, Skyscraper, is a BDS pick that has no maps played for Lost One in recent history. People usually ban this map against Lost One as well, but it's a really, really good map for BDS because out of the 7 games that they played in recent history, they were able to win 6 of them. And they also have a really good defending win rate, and this is a map that they do love to pick in those best of 3 or best of 5 situations.
Now, I've picked BDS's brains on this before. You know, I've spoke to their support staff, and my English to French is not the best, but I do get to speak to them at times. Now, I know for a fact that when they come to major events, when they come to these big S-tier tournaments, the one thing that they do like to do, they've never actually confirmed this, but, you know, I've hinted at them to them, and they've gone, maybe, is that they like to go to what they perceive their weak maps to be against what they perceive a weak opponent to be. So the fact that we're seeing Villa and Chalet come through in this ban phase says to me that BDS are confident. They feel that they will have the better of Lost One no matter what the maps are, and they want to hoard off future opponents from going to Villa or Chalet against them.
Yeah, and you mentioned how strong Lost One was on Villa during those qualifiers. That is domestically, though, so we'll have to see if this proves for them being on international ground as well against an international team, picking Villa. It's a risky pick, but I do like it. I went back into the history of BDS having played Villa in the last year. Right, there's only 2 times they've played it. They won it during Team Falcon on Gamers 8, and they lost it to Navi in Stage 2. So there's very little information on how BDS actually plays on Villa.
Especially with that guy there, especially with Leakyfac on the team, because as much as it is one player that has kind of come into this roster, he has completely changed the dynamic, and it does need to be stressed. That was not a like-for-like replacement with Rafal. He's added more dynamics to BDS. So we are expecting something new from BDS on Villa as well.
Yeah, and if we talk about Chalet, for example, as well, we'll have 1 loss for Lost One, and that was the only map they've actually lost during those last chance qualifiers that they lost to Furia in the finals. It's not their greatest map on attack, though, but for BDS it's a 50-50, and as you mentioned, it is one of their permabans. They haven't played it yet this tournament.
Okay, I do want to get a little bit mental here, right? Lost One mindset going into this. I mean, BDS is a fierce foe, but in ways they're wounded. Maybe it's the time to attack. And what do you think they're thinking right now?
I mean, yeah, BDS has shown this tournament that they're not
perfect.
Yeah, I mean, not unbeatable, basically,
Yeah,
right? They got beaten by an APAC team, for example, so it is possible to beat them, but for Lost One, it's really important, right? Tomorrow, they have, they've already had their off day, so they will need all these points they can get to get further up and higher up, because they're currently standing in 4th, and BDS is in 1st, right? They're looking a little bit more comfortable than Lost One in regards to positioning.
Every single team in this group, every single team has an incredible opportunity to go through in first place. This Group C is probably the closest group. You've got 3 teams on 4 points, Lost One on 3, and Australia's on 1, but they've had a day off. So if you're looking at it, Lost One, there's no reason why they wouldn't be confident. They went and beat Cyclops yesterday. Sure, it was over 3 maps. Sure, they did drop a map, but also CAD got beat by BDS got beat by Cyclops. BDS dropped a map to Oxygen. This group is so fluid that even for Lost One, I think even just winning their map pick would be enough. I think for Lost One, they would be happy with that.
Oh yeah, getting a point out of this, at least for them, that would be huge. But if you look at BDS's perspective, right, they have their off day tomorrow. So they'll have one more game after this one. If they win this, that'd be great for some extra points.
All right, well, we shall see how this all plays out. Are you ready for BDS versus Lost One? Our teams are ready to go. Penguin and Taro are ready to go. So let's go. See you later.
All right, hello everybody. Nice to see you. Welcome back for Lost One versus BDS.
Yeah, an exciting matchup because BDS, spoiler alert, they lost against CAC, which no one really saw coming. So
I didn't see it coming.
no, I don't think anybody did.
No.
And frankly, it makes a more exciting group overall, and this matchup got a lot more exciting because of that.
Absolutely. This is going to be an exciting bout. I mean, BDS will be looking for revenge. Obviously, they got their revenge yesterday by beating OXG in one of the most exciting finales of a match that I've ever seen. If you have not gone back and watched the Oxygen versus BDS match, I would highly recommend you do.
It was the, was it Brede, I believe, who ended up that in a 1 versus 4, perhaps? There's a little bit of a teaser there in case you go back and watch it.
It's just fine, but we need to fix it.
There was a player who had used a different name in the lobby for some reason. So anyway, they are
and it was like not related to his actual player
nothing
tag
at all close. Yeah, nothing close whatsoever to the name. So I think that's
It's
the issue is going to be.
Yeah. Oh, plushie.
I like this this like toy plushie meta that we've come to be a part of.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Saw in them earlier. They have their marshmallows. Liquid has been bringing a. Is it a horse from the orc that they bring? I actually don't know, but a couple of teams they bring little plushies around. It's very cute. BDS they just bring a Lemsh. He's the cutie that they bring. He both do the playing and he does the representing for the team.
Was it the first team that started bringing an animal? Was it was either Mocket or the Penta team?
I was gonna say KS. Yeah.
It was Panics, wasn't it? Panics and KS and all them?
KS definitely brought, I think it was a unicorn he would bring, but I don't know if that was on the Penta roster that he was on with us or it was Mocket afterwards. But yeah, early days, there definitely were some plushies. 80% in favor of BDS and 20 to loss. I don't think that's too big of a surprise. Skyscraper is where things will start off, of course, as you can tell. Operator bands going underway. And we will see the first attacker off the board. Who would have thought? Ayana. More target bans towards the French teams. Wolves, they get on a band against because of Mowgli. And well, Team BDS, well, it's going to be because of Shaiko and also a little bit because of Leak Effect because they shared that operator. But it's mostly Shaiko.
Thatcher taken out by BDS. Is that going to necessitate a Kaid ban? Is that going to necessitate Bandit ban?
It can.
Mute ban? I know it can, Nick.
But will it?
That's what I'm asking.
Not yet. But of course, there's one more to go. BDS, they took away the Thatcher, so will it be matched? Will they say take something else away instead? Bandit.
Bandit. So it was one of the two. I was correct.
Nice one.
Thank you, man.
Now, you do
Actually, it's Los one.
Los
one. Is it Los or is it Lost? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below.
That's what I'm thinking. So Shank, oh, I saw that. Dots just hovering to Shanka there for a brief second, saying, oh, wrong operator. Change it around. Get it off my screen. Now, we have seen, is it every single operator in the game, period, or every single defender being played? Do you, because Rook was played earlier by SSG, and that was, I believe, the last operator that we had not seen yet for this event. So on day 1, number 3, everything has been played. And on the very first day of the tournament, we saw every single bomb site and every single map being played in a 9-map pool scenario. That too is rather impressive. The flexibility and depth of the teams at this level of play for 2023 and as well as 2022 has really stepped up just that last level that we needed in terms of how deep people can go. And it's rather nice.
It is. The same video that I saw, that I referenced in a cast earlier today, Nick talked about innovative strategies that came up, and one of them was involving, I believe, a castle and an Azami inside of Geisha on Skyscraper, and how it wasted utility and provided this fortress that you could very easily defend. Now, obviously there's no Azami on the board, she's banned out by Team BDS, but you still see The soft walls opened up. Line of sight's created inside of Geisha. Castle barricades completely sealing the room. Oh. Dash down below, by the way, lurking on that Solus, an operator that has a very high prevalence rate.
Watch this.
Late setup as Black Mirror goes down. I'm assuming reflexively, you can't pick them back up. Once they're down, they're down.
Yeah. We tend to see players kind of just wait 20-30 seconds to put down their last piece of utility sometimes because, yeah, as you mentioned, once you put it down, you can't change it, so you want to make sure that you get the most amount of value possible. Skyscraper, not typically a map where teams tend to rush or go really quickly into the building, so you can take that 20-30 seconds to see, okay, are they spawning on the west, are they spawning on the east side, and therefore make your decision accordingly. Now, the drone spotted out the Kite Claw on the top left of the wall, so the secondary EMPs can just quickly take that off. Breach goes out, and Geisha access will be granted.
It's very easy to bandit trick a number of these walls because of them being single or double panel walls with no option to go below. And sometimes, especially with Kaid on the board, you can throw those claws on the bottom floor in a way that those secondary EMPs don't have a big enough radius to deal with. Now, hold on a second. Loban gets kill number 1. EFAC springs in, down he goes. This defense holding up for the time being. You've lost the Nook. Now that Yana you talked about, banned out by Los, means that Shaiko and EFAC are not going to be able to use these, intel-heavy operators. Nitrocell goes out. There's a downed player from BDS crawling away. It's Bride, the superstar of that OXG match. 2 kills for BDS, by the way, onto both Maya and Loban. Nitrocell goes off. It's a bit too late. Action occurring with still a minute to go. Lems knows there's one over by Drum. He saw just the elbow. Can't secure yet. Logic Bomb will go out, give information as to whether or not Rise will be able to step up and kill either Bride or one of the players. BDS playing that position. Siege timing at its best. Rise moves off. Comes back into it, sees the Lion. It's not a DMR, it's a shotgun, but boy, that TCSG will flatten you out. And Rise is hoping for that. Catches Renshiro going towards the window. Down he goes. Bride opening up Geisha. You don't have a lot of time to work with, only 15 seconds. The Solus is still playing below as well. A 3v3, and there's Shaiko doing what Shaiko does best, cleaning up the bomb site. But they have to stop this plant. Ash has an idea, opening up with impacts. But now they know that he's still down below, and somebody needs to be dispatched to take care of him. Down goes a Lems. Bride will plant. That leaves Rise to clutch in a 1v2, but Shaiko is down below. Heading back to the stairs, Rise gets the kill. Can he spot Bride? No! The Clutch Master, who pulls it off time and time again, has done it to teams all over the world, and he'll do it to Loss.
That is absolutely absurd. I mean, Bride is planting basically between 2 cracks in the wall, and, well, Lost, they're questioning where exactly is this plant going down. Rise couldn't really see the back of him. Small portion of his left shoulder, but he's sticking out of the wall here. Yeah, the scope blocks it, and BDS, they get the round, but they steal it away. It's extremely close.
You can hear your smile.
You can hear my smile. I love watching Bride. I always have. And Bride actually had one of his worst... I hate talking negatively about it, but he had one of his worst years, essentially, of in 2022 as a player. And the BDS, they had a mixed year in the first half. The later half, of course, was great. The Gamers 8 victory. They won in that show match over in Japan, or that tournament. And, of course, they won the Youngshibe Major. So they've had a phenomenal later half of 2022. But that first half, Bride as an individual looked extremely lost. And I mean, we look at Bride as a support player who puts up extreme numbers on the scoreboard. Clutches, consistency, everything. He was still doing the support work, breaching walls, droning, etc. Surely he's also contributing the IGL department before League Effect's arrival. But in terms of the clutches and the kills, Bride was not himself for the majority of 2022. But so far, during Invitationals 2023, he has shown up in that old version of himself where he just wins every single time without failure. And BDS, of course, with their most recent success, they want to keep up that trend and find themselves the biggest trophy of them all. Second Kite Claw goes out, and League Effect quite simply just drives by it, doesn't even care. They got the opening that they maybe wanted, just a little swing in for pressure, not an entry point. They difficulty here for BDS is they only bring a singular hard breach. There are 2 external walls. Of course, one of those areas, it is a soft wall. There is a deployable shield behind it. It's not easy to contest. BDS is still scouting for information as to where to make their next move. This is the new patch we're playing on, by the way. Twitch has 4 drones, 2 regular and 2 Twitch drones, and no grip. That is why you might be thinking that FAMAS looks a bit different than I remember. Well, that's why. There simply isn't a grip anymore.
Phone calls go out. You'll hear the players from Lost One all over the map. And BDS is not pouncing on it just yet. One of those phones very eerily close to Alems. He shifted his position right now. Looking towards Terrace, but nobody really there. Renshiro on the vault in. He'll be able to continue towards Samurai. Down goes Dots to EFAC, but traded back by Lobin. That's 1 apiece. Renshiro's just in the middle of the bomb site, by the way. And he sees one, controlling that SMG-12. Goodbye to Maya. Still in there, for the record. And another found for Renshiro. Rise the first kill for Loss in this ensuing fray. More will follow. BDS have lost 3 players after EFAC had died a couple seconds before the action began. Look at that. Shaiko and Bride still left alive. Bride with plant down. If there's anybody in the world you want watching over this plant, it's got to be Shaiko, and that's exactly why. Rise assaulting the castle barricade. Cannot get past Shaiko. Again, the post plant for BDS. Mighty fine.
Yeah, not just the post plant, the decisiveness and the aggression to get the entry. We saw it. Secondary EMP towards that window near the bomb site. You jump in, check the first trap, take the gunfights. It's Renshiro actually who led the charge. That's not something that we see quite often from BDS, but every single member is so capable in these aggressive scenarios, and it's why BDS as a roster have so much reach. And the desk kind of spoke about the missing ingredient, the flexibility in terms of operator pool. What hasn't really been there for BDS, you know, throughout the last 2 years or so. But League Effect playing, what was it, 16 different operators at this event so far, has changed that tremendously. Last round, it was a Twitch, gaining information, shutting down some, etc. Not really doing too much fighting in that round, but then Renshi, he steps up, jumps in, gets 2 kills and contests the 3rd with the Dokkaebi. And then, now this round, we see League Effect hovering the nuke instead. Alems goes to IQ. All of a sudden, entirely different game plan for BDS, enabling League Effect perhaps this time to do something with those grenades from below, sneaking up a staircase, and trying and get an opening kill somewhere on the map, chasing down a roamer.
Well, Lost One have tried 2 separate bomb sites. Come as close pretty much as you're gonna get to winning both of them.
Certainly.
Remember what I said about how with both a Bandit and a Kaid, if you do want to bring both, you can very easily get an Electroclaw down below. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And it can be tricky depending on where the Electroclaw goes for one of those secondary EMPs to reach. The radius on them is tiny in comparison to the EMPs that Thatcher brings. It's like a big nuke versus a little nuke, essentially.
Okay.
Lobin is dead. EFAC on Nook doing some damage. Doesn't matter what operator he plays. 16 attacking operators played so far at this event. Great flexibility.
Oh.
It looks like they might have gotten the Electroclaw, but for a second. Lobin, who perished, was Oryx, which means that you can't roam as effectively as you want. He was playing off of his office side before. Now it's Maya in that exact same position.
Yeah, look at this. League Effect, he got that pressure applied, doesn't have to apply any further, just wait for something to happen. But again, the timing, actually works in his favor. Bit of a whiff from Maya and League Effect, but he wins out instead in the end.
Have to just take a bit of a second to laugh at the postures of these players. Lost One are all about an inch from kissing their monitors. BDS, with the exception of Shaiko, look about as far back as you're gonna get. 2 kills on a BDS, speaking of, Alems and EFAC taken out by players on Loss. It's nice to see Thorn be played prominently. Where are those Razor Blooms? Where's Dash put them? Hidden them around the map.
Thorn's weapon did receive a nerf in the most recent patch, does significantly less damage, but that extended barrel brings it up a little bit with that 15% increase. The recoil so small that the slight increase of that won't matter in the grand scheme of things. Shaiko and Bride up above, starting to hit the bomb site vertically. BDS catches the flank at the last second, and no dash is coming, and he only has 1 HP left.
This is going to be a tight one. Dash and BDS so close. That gun did hit like a truck. I kind of get why they would nerf it.
Yeah, it did hit like a truck.
2 players from BDS.
Oh.
Dash knows this.
Oh.
Capitalize. No, he can't. Shaiko wins that duel. A tale as old as time itself. Lost now down by 1. There are the cams in the possession of BDS. Under 30 seconds to go to pull off and execute BDS with diffuser in hand. Shaiko will try to lead the charge. He gets out-dueled for once. Dots punishing him, putting us back into a 2v2. Second target acquired. Both members of BDS drop down, but it's BDS to take matters into his own hands. Only has 2 kills, but highly impactful. And more important than that, he's getting the diffuser down yet again. This play for BDS is phenomenal. Rise controlling the MPX recoil, what little of it there is, to perfection, takes out Renshiro, and it puts BDS and him in a 1v1. Impact goes off. BDS at half HP, Rise at about 80%. Wall opened up, now BDS has a good idea of where he is, and he peeks the wrong way again. Yet another round. Goodness gracious. BDS, 3 rounds in a row, all on 3 separate bomb sites, all with the diffuser being planted and winning in the post-plant every time. Outside of an ace or flawless rounds, you're hard-pressed to imagine how BDS could be doing this better.
Yeah, and once again, it's BDS clutching it out, as we love to see. There's a lot of ways to look at a team and be like, okay, this to me is a good team, this to me is a weaker team, etc. When you're looking at BDS in the last 3 rounds here in Skyscraper, the one thing that I would say that really puts them apart of the teams that I've seen so far, because this is the first time that you and I, Parker, have cast BDS as well as lost one, is that BDS is showing pretty much 0 wasted movement or 0 wasted action. What I mean by that is they're always doing something proactively. BDS catches the flanker, and then, you know, he holds the angle for about 5 seconds. Then you can see another silhouette. It's Shaiko coming behind BDS. They gang up with the 2 versus 1 trade, because if you give the 1 versus 1 gunfight and you lose it, the flank is still a problem. So they just, again, instantly calls over backup. The moment that kill goes through, you sprint right back to the bomb site. While that's happening, you had Renshi rotate through the map, get that phone that EFAC had gotten earlier to hack it to get the camera control, then BDS drops the hatch. The moment he kills the Kaid, instantly hops on plant. There's no 1 second missed here or opportunity wasted over there. It is just really thought out ahead of time, or at the very least, it's communicated in the second that it occurs. It's beautiful to watch, honestly.
These are the these are the defending major champions. Sorry, sometimes your words get a little bit too ahead of you. These are the defending major champions in BDS.
Yeah.
If you did not watch the Yonshiping major, oh, okay.
Good night.
Hold that thought for a second there. Dash playing by Kegs. Is that a reception? Don't know that he's there. Gets a pick. Nicely done. Now it's Dots to be pressured on back stairs. He's got a shotgun out and a barbed wire at the bottom of the stairs. He's got one of those deployable shields at the top. Bulletproof shields, technically.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
Was half right. EFAC taking a bit of Dots' life away. And Dots still in the same position, over top of the barbed wire. There goes the other nade. ADS is reset. Engage will come with a gun in hand. And oh, didn't even look like he was around the corner. I don't know how he saw him on that one. Dots holding court at the moment. There was another nade, but the second ADS works out just fine, killing as much time as humanly possible. BDS in, takes out the Kaid, and pivots. It gets beautiful. A second. Loban is good as gone. BDS 3 rounds in, no deaths. And based on what we've seen through these first 3 rounds, you expect him to be good as ever to get that diffuser planted.
That's peak performance right there, the injured job. The Claymore finds Dots as well. That is so unfortunate for Lost One, honestly. They needed that member alive.
And now they find themselves in a 2v4, 1v4. Maya down for the count. Shaiko gets the final 3. He only needs to work for 2 of them, though. You call a timeout if you're Lost One, it's 4-0.
Yeah. I mean, in all fairness, if we gotta go there, this is BDS's map pick, if it makes things easier. But less than ideal position to be in for any defending team right now. Maya yet to get a kill. Dots with a single. But I mean, these are just... It's a very aggressive BDS.
Bride yet to die still.
Bride yet to die as well, yeah.
No kills from Maya, Bride yet to die. That was a T and karaoke defense for the second time. There was no diffuser planted, but I mean, they killed them all before they could get into the bomb site. So I don't really fault them for that one.
I mean, Lems doesn't have a kill either, to be fair. It's not currently needed. Time being spent by both teams to talk strategy and mentality. Now, unfortunately, I don't speak either of these languages. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they have very valid things to say that we could break down and talk about, but I won't know at all. It seems like he's just having a ton of fun, I'll say that much. Ligifak and Shaiko exchanging some hand expressions and whatnot, repeating some words. It seems rather effortless in these gunfights. I mean, Ligifak got absolutely destroyed by the shotgun on the back stairs. Lobin just, I don't know, somehow swung the corner doing so much damage, but I barely saw anything but the shoulder. Look at the operator lineup here. It's pretty similar from Lost 1. The kite being brought to deny the walls, force out those secondary EMPs, and also kind of forcing BDS to, you know, pick up the IQ, because you can't blindly just toss those secondary EMPs around. Like you mentioned, Parker, their range is rather small compared to a Thatcher EMP, so if the kite is above and the EMP below, that's not gonna do the job. So you use the IQ to find the location of the claw, then you can throw out those secondary EMPs accordingly, then you can guarantee that wall to get opened up. And because you're only running a single heart breach on Bride, that be the Ace or the Thermite, you don't really have enough heart breach utility to waste by missing that up. So BDS is kind of making sure that they get that wall opened up first by combining those two gadgets.
As the Selmas open up a doorway to the top of the stairs. Dash the first pick, it's onto a Lems. You said he didn't have a kill, he's gonna have to wait even longer. Sitting on 0-5. Now, Lems is not a dedicated support player, though he does often play supportive roles for BDS. At this point, you should have expected to be involved, but you know what?
Oh my.
Who the hell needs a Lems when you got Shaiko doing what he just did?
Yeah, you really don't. There's also smoke. I mean, it's a very high value kill at that. That's gonna buy you 20-30 seconds on the clock. And yeah, Lems is like almost like a secondary support flex player these days. Him and Renshi, they kind of share that burden on the team. Bride solo support. The current meta just favors you to get more aggressive, so having two support players playing their passive roles isn't the way to go right now, and no teams are really doing that.
And outside a Dragon. Dots just sitting and waiting. A very pivotal spot between these two portions of the top floor of the map. Another kill comes in for Loss, and it's on to Shaiko. A formidable opponent. Rises away back into Geisha if he wants it. Soft destruction that can be made quite quickly from that TCSG, but there it goes. Very quiet round so far, Nick, other than those two picks by Loss. Obviously losing the smoke and EFAC controlling recoil quite well. That's drum control for them. Not dragon, drum. Confuse these words.
Similar.
It's been a long day. Maya, though, goodness, playing by bar inside a lounge. They didn't know he was there, so BDS are quick to take up space. Dash on the flank, Dots out duels Renshiro. Bride with 0 deaths to his name. They're gonna test that stat. But Dash is on the flank.
Bride doesn't know.
They have no idea, and his first death. Still a valiant effort from BDS, but finally a strong round from Lost 1. Coming in, they get on the board after that timeout.
They need that. It always feels satisfying and rewarding when you call a tactical timeout and things kind of work in your favor, and it all started well for them. Get the opening kill, you know, don't throw your advantage. Both play the bomb side and the roam. That flank continuously haunting BDS. Of course, usually it's not the round-defining thing for them because BDS have been winning these rounds, but it is a pattern that Lost 1 are abusing very well against them.
Very final defense. And it's the 4th bomb site that we've seen so far.
Okay.
Karaoke and Tea was played right off the rip. Office came next, Kitchen and Barbecue after that. And now we see the bedroom bomb site down below. In terms of success rates, BDS has won Karaoke Tea twice, Office once, lost it once, and then won Kitchen. All 3 of the first rounds, or all of the first 3 rounds, were just, I don't know what it is today. I just can't speak, apparently, which is very critical for my job. But today is it's tough.
It's okay.
It's tough today. We all have our days, I guess. All of the first 3 rounds were so decisive for BDS when you look back on it. Even though it did come down to 1 or 2 kills, BDS never were not in control. And yeah, it was close, and loss 1 were in a position where maybe they could have won those rounds, but ultimately, you needed to change things up. That strategy on Office, with loss, roaming as effectively as they were, and taking the gunfights to BDS, not allowing them to just walk right in, EFAC in particular walk right in. Great, but how do you do that on Bedroom? You have to roam above, and you absolutely cannot give up control of the part of the map that you just successfully defended.
You're correct, and the only thing here, statistically speaking, is that the Master Bedroom slash Bathroom bomb site only played 1 time so far this tournament, and the Tigers won it. So statistically, it's not looking good, but strategically, you are correct, Parker. If you hold on to the right areas, BDS can just walk on in. Unless they do just that. BDS, they have this tendency in the EOL where they don't do the thing that, oh, it's the cagging effect. It's when you do the wrong thing, but you get the desired outcome. We just covered this in the death segment. Yeah, BDS on Clubhouse will fail to get open the main breach, but still somehow win the round, which should not be happening. So if there is a team that can break this apart in a very simplified way that shouldn't work, it's probably going to be BDS. Now the Frost mat did not get destroyed. I'm not sure if BDS are aware of that. They really want this Kite Claw. And I don't think they got it.
Maybe now?
There it is.
Finally.
They got the claw as well, I believe, so...
Oh.
Dots on the pressure.
Solus roaming.
Looking out.
Not too far removed from the bomb site, though. Alems will go the first half without a single kill. That's yet another opening duel in favor of Loss. And despite the scoreline, Loss has 4 of the first bloods. Oh, nice shots. 2 kills. Quick order. Breede's in the middle of the bomb site. That's not where you want him to be, but look up in the right corner. There's a Valkyrie camera that he has not spotted staring at him.
And it's solid.
Because of that, they're able to give information, a joint effort. It's almost like an IQ would have been nice here. They've run it before. Loban is just trouncing this BDS team this round. Renshiro 1v3, thought they had control of the bomb site, and they did, technically. But Loss never relinquished that top floor, and it was a very linear take from BDS. Renshiro cannot control the SMG-12, even with its large magazine. First half in the books. Loss makes a graceful recovery as the final rounds tick down, but still trail after BDS stormed ahead 4-0. The 2 rounds by Loss were good. They have to turn it around on the second half.
And that round that we just witnessed, as well as something like a border ventilation defense, really shows the beauty of Rainbow Six Siege when it comes to the dynamic play of a map where you can hold the bomb site on the ground floor from the floor above it entirely. There were no members of Lost 1 on the bomb site itself. It was 3 members up above, Solids, of course, with the gadget that can see it, Valkyrie cameras on the side granting information, and a Frost that can have who has a secondary shotgun to open up the floor to deny any plant positions. You can't just walk the site itself in this game. You gotta worry about what's below it as well as above it, depending on the floor it's on. It's why something like a basement bomb site, or maps that have that kind of bomb site, is arguably easier to defend because you're not under threat from anything from above you. But at the same time, you also cannot defend it vertically yourself. So, this bomb site in particular that we're watching right now, T Karaoke, that's more of a horizontal bomb site where you extend across the map, like you see at Lemshes right now, into that office samurai area to deny the attackers an easy entry point, slow things down, kill some drones, and then hopefully, if you survive, fall back towards the site itself to get back to your teammates' positions. Lost 1, of course, they have the nuke available and the Dokkaebi. That combination is what BDS also used. Call goes out, nuke sneaks around, might get a kill or 2, come up a staircase, flank somewhere on the map, and make things even more difficult. BDS are not playing any wall deny operators, so secondary MPs aren't needed from Lost 1, but they do have one set on Loban on the Dokkaebi because why not? Also, that's a fantastic drone from Dots.
Knock, knock.
One of the beautiful things of being able to go back and rewatch these matches on the replay feature is to see where drones get stashed. There's a lot more time spent by pro teams on how to parkour those drones up to a spot that you would never expect in a million years. In fact, the Earth would likely be consumed by the sun before you found some of these drones, if it weren't for the replay feature, of course. Go back and rewatch it for yourself. Learn some nice drone spots. Remember, for all those of you watching this matchup, the best gadget is not a primary gadget. It's on attack, and it's called a drone.
Yeah, it's like that, yeah.
You get 2 of them, I beg you to use them.
Please, yes.
All right, first half. Let's go through it very quickly. 3 diffusers planted by BDS. It came in rounds 1, 2, and 3. BDS didn't die until the 5th round. Lost1 used their timeout at the tail end of round number 4 after BDS went up 4-0. In terms of first bloods, Lost had 4 of the 6 and only won 2 of those rounds. There was the last 2 that just happened. This is easily the slowest round that we've seen so far in terms of action.
Yeah.
We're about to hit the 1-minute mark remaining in the round. Every soul on board still alive.
Oh, almost cursed it.
Just a slow peek. And Loman doing serious damage and then finishing off EFAC. There's your very first kill. Lost1 eventually. You got to imagine they're going to just start winning rounds by breaking things open and smoothing out their mid to late round. And we are fast approaching the end of the round, Nick.
We are, and they've barely done, it's step 2 right now, figuring out where they want to approach with Shaiko in a world of hurt against 3 members. Takes that one into a down state, but gets down himself.
There go the Selma charges. Toxic gas will linger in front of Maya. Rise brought back to life. Dash is the only one that's still not there. And it might be janky, but you can still get through that wall from Geisha on the outside. 15 seconds. Again, very slow, pitter-patter. The clock doesn't stop. Loman picks up yet another kill. Renshiro in a position they didn't expect of him, but they can easily dogpile him. 2 separate players from Lost1 there. It leaves BDS to clutch out, and boy, oh boy, we've seen him do this before. Starting with a single kill, he takes out Rise as well. There's no way he does it again, right? Right? Oh. Wrong, he doesn't. Dot says you might be the clutch master, but sometimes you fall just short. Lost1 within striking distance of BDS, sitting on 3 rounds now.
And Lost1, it wasn't shown directly in the first person point of view, but one thing they did beautifully that round is while they were executing 3 members above, they actually managed to kill Elemj, who was on the solas downstairs. If that instance that we saw here, planted with 5 seconds left, occurred with BDS alive and Elemj below, the solas would deny the plant. BDS stays alive in that backstairs position, and BDS they steal the round. So Lost1 with the checklist, okay, get map control, get to the bottom side, execute, but while doing so, make sure that there's nothing downstairs that can disrupt the plant, because we are so low on time, there is no room for these kinds of mistakes. They check it, they take down Elemj, and they secure the round in that 1v1 clutch, denying BDS what would have been his 3rd clutch in 7 rounds. So if you take those rounds away from BDS, it is not as close as a 3-4 scoreline. Lost1 would have been running away with this with a couple of rounds advantage.
5 seconds remaining. Attackers objective is to locate.
I think really stands out for me on BDS's lineup, very similar to what we saw Lost1 running on in that first half. Dokubi being very prominently featured, taking the place, I assume, of Yana for this Lost1 team. I mean, Shaiko couldn't play Yana, so they just put him on Ashe. Okay, that's actually not a bad thing. Teams used to talk about banning Ashe.
Yeah.
In order to cool off Shaiko.
Yeah.
And then he started playing what? He started playing Zofia or IQ, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it was Sophia back then.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah. Shaiko is one of the quote-unquote few players who plays operators for their gun, because he is so lethal in the server that it is absolutely worth to give this man whatever gun he wants. Ian and Ashe, they both share the G36C. So if you ban one, you play the other. It's really simple, really. So ever since Iana got released, you can argue Shaiko buff. Can't ban them both, not yet at least.
Is that first logic bomb that's going to go off? Wait for the next if Rise wants to use it at any point.
It's another slow start for Lost1, and mean, it worked for them last time. Only downside is when you burn the clock down so early on in the round, everything has to go perfectly once you get to that third stage of a round, and that is the execute. And interestingly enough, they're going for a vertical take, but not the way you'd normally expect. They're going from below attacking up, like a good old coastline attack with the buck below. We haven't seen this in quite some time. Wall gets opened up as they get the jammer and the kite block, but no! The second kite block gets tossed, they trick the wall successfully, and one exothermic charge gets burned. They have another one. It's okay.
You know, if this was a professional sport, I think there'd be studies done on BDS's ability to just completely dominate a matchup in a multitude of ways. In kills, in objective play, in gadgetry. I mean, at this point, is there a better support in the world than BDS?
I mean, he's been up for that award for a long time, I would say.
He has.
Souls, when he joined FaZe, was also kind of joining that list. He plays a similar kind of playstyle as BDS, an aggressive support, clutching out. No, BDS is my GOAT. Let's put it that way.
Scout out Dragon, 30 seconds left. We talked about slow rounds, goodness gracious. Lost one, were painfully slow in the previous round, but it worked out for them, they won it. They're even slower now. 20 seconds left and the first casualty finally happens. Maya removed from Shaiko, he's still out roaming, EFAC, off-site as well. Within arm's reach of it, but not technically in it. It's Dash to come up the stairs. BDS just sweeping through the remaining players, and there's only a single kill from Lost One. Pretty hard pressed to be a team that with 14 seconds to go, there's only 3 of you left, and 15 seconds ago, there was still all 5 of you left.
Yeah, time is the biggest for Lost One right now. I mean, that second kite claw on the triple breach inside of Office, it stalled like 40 seconds off the clock, and the Buck could essentially see the claw the entire time. They even rotated the secondary EMP grenades over to try and get it that way. The EMP didn't reach the claw. Buck still had to try and find the claw. And again, as I said, 40 seconds disappeared from the timer. And that is just a very painful position to be in because you only get 3 minutes from the very moment the round starts. 30 of that is to reach the building. You know, you gotta drone the map, take control. It's too valuable to be spending doing essentially nothing. And I was giving BDS praise on their attack and on how they have very limited wasted movement, a very limited wasted time in the round. And that is a big difference between these two teams on their attack side on Skyscraper thus far.
13 kills for Shaiko through 9 rounds, well, 8 rounds of action. The one stat that I always like to bring up is that Shaiko has like a lifetime 1 point something KPR, kills per round.
Yeah.
Inconceivable.
Yeah.
Against the best opponents in the world, you are getting a consistent 1 kill every round.
I mean, Shaiko is consistently leading all the kills, the KD, the entry stats for pretty much every single event, both domestically and internationally. I mean, going into this, he's #1 in rating, 1.46. DS Lucas, 1.37 behind him. Plus minus, he's plus 36 in that as well. In entry, he is 5th with plus 8. In cost, he's 5th as well. This man is everywhere statistically in the top 5. It's impressive. It really is.
It's been quite a career for Shaiko. The only thing that he really needed was a major championship, and they got it in Sweden, in Jönköping, just a couple months ago. Now, I suppose the only thing that's left is a world championship.
Hammer, yep.
A lot of people thought that they'd be favorites coming into this event. There was that stunning first result against CAG, but then it was business as usual against OXG. While we were talking, EFAC was downed. Dots is able to finish him off with a grenade. Down goes the alibi. EFAC can absolutely take over games, but he's been held to a pretty mortal 7-7 so far. Every single Brazilian team that is at this event has the potential to humble even the best of fraggers. Doesn't matter who you are. The fact that you see people like Shaiko still excelling, well, that's just a testament to how good he is. Lems has picked up 2 kills since we started counting that a Lems tracker, by the way.
Yep. He's slowly finding his footing. We see Dots, both this round and the previous, is sitting on this window rappel, cutting the bomb site, or above the bomb site rather, in half, while Maya does a nice wallbang job of his own, getting Renchi's head.
Not an ideal start for BDS at all. Lost looking to tighten this one up. He'll add a 3rd trophy to the wall. Brede and Alems left to go. No shade to Alems, but you're going to have to start finding kills very quickly. You've only got 2 so far through 8 rounds of action. Not ideal. He waits very patiently. The good thing that Loss has going for them is that they were kind of quick. In comparison to the previous 2 rounds, they were in much faster. And that means that even if there's only 2 people left for BDS, you can take your time in finding them. Alems taking damage from the soft wall of backstairs, picks up kill number 3. He'll inch up, but lose the engagement to Maya. The Jackal walks right in, and Brede's attempt thwarted by Dash.
Much better.
Lost one, keeping this one close. Pick up round number 4.
Much better. If they keep that up with the pace in the early stage of the round, they will be looking mighty fine these rounds to come. Maya, of course, getting a wall bang in that round helps that tremendously as well. Just kind of speeds things up, getting those free kills, so to speak, uncontested. BDS, they aren't really fighting back much on the roam game either. 2 of the 3 deaths that occurred was essentially BDS running away from a fight rather than into one. So there is a playstyle change that can be made here for BDS to say, okay, leave 1 or 2 members on the bomb side, have those last 3 or 4 members fight for their lives on the roam, challenge Lost One on the early stage of the round, perhaps then fall back, or just, as I said, fight to the very end. The bomb sites themselves on Skyscraper aren't actually particularly strong, if you will. There are not many great positions to play in. The windows cuts off a long lines of sight, verticality, etc. So I would definitely argue that fighting in between the bombs that you're playing on and the extended roam, for example, right here, that's the in-between, the drag and drum kind of area. That's your that's your real fortress, essentially, where you can fight easier as a defender. It's kind of like Chalet defending bar. You have that top blue shield and top chimney shield, and if you attack from office as an attacker, that's the first pain point you'll encounter, and then the bombs are afterwards. It's a very similar story to this.
I do like that Lost One picked it up in terms of speed. I gotta say, I think if BDS loses this round, a timeout has to be called, just to settle it down. Because if they don't call it, that'll mean that Lost One have won 5 rounds of the last 6. And that also coincidentally goes back to when they called the timeout. Lost One have only dropped a single round since they called that timeout. That's a very impressive streak of gameplay, and it's happened on both sides. It's happened on both attack and on defense. So you can't turn around and say, oh, it's just because of the side swap. Yeah, sure. I mean, they've won as many rounds on attack now as they did on defense. And they've still got plenty of rounds to go on attack, no matter what. This round, 2 more.
I would not want to be Leaky Fag right now.
No, you're going to be in a world of hurt playing over by Terrace, but he wins the engagement. Okay, never mind. He trades out half of his HP to take Loban out of the fight.
I concur. I do want to be Leaky Fag. Love plays like that.
I mean, he's also a strapping young lad.
That he is.
He's indisputably more attractive than you.
Indisputed? That's almost... Okay, that's he.
I'm going to use this word.
Yeah, objectively, I'll take that one.
Objectively more attractive, and indisputably as well. We can ask the great people of Twitch chat, who's more attractive?
Oh, no.
Efak or Pengu?
Oh, no.
There you go.
Before he wins...
You lose that battle. You lose that battle 9 times out of 10.
I'm losing that battle. That's fair. I had my run when I was young, now I'm a boomer.
This could be match point for BDS, by the way. Depending on what happens with Dots. Right now, upside down on Repel. Alems is a DMR of his own, puts it to good work on Maya. 2 bodies will hit the floor for Lost One, a 3rd one as well. BDS are not allowing Lost in the building. Dash gets in, wait, hold on a second here. Don't let them in the building, but their sight's been somewhere else. Dots is too distracted. Dash now in a position to do some mighty damage as Dots looks to join from backstairs. Efak taken down. Lost has made this a 2v2. BDS had everything going for them, Nick. But suddenly, Lost One is back in this conversation. Congratulations, though. You've got the toughest opponent in the entire server to still dispatch, and you have no idea where he is, lighting you up in the process. Alems to distract you. This is a good 1-2 punch. Oh, Alems doesn't have the information. Yes, he does. He misses out on the opportunity. Down goes Shaiko. Alems for match point. He'll get it done and finish it as well. BDS go through a scare, but they clutch yet another post plant, this time not theirs, their opponents. That point for BDS.
Oh my, that is so chaotic. I mean, the flank around was beautiful from BDS, but this initial injury from Dash and the follow-up from Dots, so much value. Dokkaebi on the side window repel with the diffuser realizes, damn, this guy is in. I gotta get my booty over there as well. Goes downstairs in the window, finds the effect below through the wall essentially. There's a small gap in it. Walks up the staircase, survives the crossfire from Shaiko, and gets the diffuser down just in time before BDS's flank arrives.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
6-4
attackers.
in favor of BDS. Changing bomb sides to figure out what are we feeling here, because things are kind of mixed bag right now in terms of success. Office, sure, BDS, they've won it before, but that was because Lost One, they were very, very slow to the punch, didn't have enough time to execute correctly. They've learned since then. They are playing faster than in the past. Ying now being brought out as well. Have not seen that from them yet. Dokkaebi is stable, the Lion is stable, trying to kind of nerf BDS's gunfight capabilities by either A, making them stand still, or 2, make their phone ring so we can hear where they are when that gunfight occurs if you're on the roam. Dots has to stay alive. This Ying cannot die on the roam clear. You need that for the site itself, unless, of course, you can spend those Candelas to kill a member or 2 before hitting the site itself, but that is very unlikely how mobile Team BDS they are.
Big moment for BDS on their map, obviously. You expect them to win this one. We'll go to Villa next. That's Lost One's pick. Though, it's based off the top of my head. I don't expect a drubbing from Lost One, from what we know of the way that both these teams play Villa. There's the pocket EMP, and the Selma will open things up. Lost looking to be quicker than previous rounds.
So, Shaiko had a choice there to shoot the Selma charge or not, chose not to in case it was a bait. If Shaiko steps up that door and shoots through it, he could get banged or wall banged back to the door barricade and therefore get shut down. He says, you know, you get the wall, I'll stay alive. I'm more valuable as a gun than in the grave. Beautiful coordination. Bride opens up the door, Shaiko runs out, he gets the kill, 14 on the board for him.
And it's the Lion down for the count. That Lion could be so integral for getting that diffuser in, paralyzing these defenders. And when you couple it with the logic bombs, both of which are still in play for Rise, and all 4 Candelas for Dots' Ying, well, you see how powerful all of those work together. They synergize very effectively. You don't have the EU1Ds. So there's going to be free roam for BDS at this point. Yeah, they're going to make some noise when the logic bombs inevitably come in. There's the first one to go from Rise. You'll hear the telltale signs of the phone ring away. Rise trading out a bunch of HP to take out EFAC, who has finally gone underwater in terms of his kill-death rate. Shaiko picks up yet another kill, this time on Loben. That's the Flores, removed from action. Last logic bomb will go, and there's still a minute left. So roam clearing is going to be a bit tougher now. You're just going to have to do it with the drones you have. And there's still plenty of them for Lost One, should they take some time to get on them. Candela's going out from Dots. He moves in towards Terrace. He's got an opening next to him. Shaiko blinded, punished for it, but Alems is a little bit farther back. Dots taking up even more space. As he have more Candelas to toss out, one remains. Where will it go? Gets eaten by an ADS. Maya eliminating Renshiro. It's a 2v2, but Alems is in a power play position. In sprints Maya, a 1v1 between Bride and Maya. We've seen Bride in these positions so many times. Flashes from Maya, but he just blinds himself, and Bride makes it look so damn easy. In a 1v1, you never count him out. How many rounds did he win by himself for BDS in just this map? More than some will do over an entire stage. Bride as good as ever, BDS as good as ever. 7-4, BDS take their map of Skyscraper.
3 individual 1v1s, a 4th attempt that was shut down. Maya thought he had the read on where he was, went for that self-flash to preview the corner, but guessed incorrectly. Bride, of course, he wins the easy gunfight there. A nice attempt for a comeback, but they couldn't quite do it.
There were a couple 1v1s that I think Lost One are going to look back on and be a bit frustrated by, and As I said halfway through the matchup, it might have been a 1v1, but in reality, Brede might as well feel like a 5v1 against some of these teams.
Yeah.
Apologies if you hate hearing us say his name, but until he's not good enough to be talked about incessantly, he's going to be talked about incessantly. That's just map number 1. I have no doubt that Villa, which awaits us as map number 2, Lost One's map, is going to be just as thrilling. We know you want to get to it. We'll get to a break first before we return to the action.
I'm Nicholas Mortensen, but you know me as Pingu. I'm a 2-time Rainbow Six Siege World Champion and former top Rainbow Six Siege player in Pro League. Welcome to my Siege Ranked Bootcamp. We're talking 20 seconds left on the clock, you got the diffuser in hand, what do? Play the way that you're comfortable with, because you have confidence when you're in this position, that is when you're gonna be at your very best. Good luck.
everybody. What a matchup that has been so far. This has been so far. It's happening again.
It is happening again.
It's happening again. What a matchup this has been so far. You hear the sound.
I was gonna say
sounds over a picture of Montreal. I don't. Hold on. There. Yep.
There it is.
There we go.
Highlights.
It's working. Highlights. Where are the lowlights?
There are no lowlights in this matchup.
Just one day when we have, as the youth have been calling it, a mid-off.
Oh boy.
Not this match, but
No,
there have been matches so far that people have been calling a mid-off. I would love a lowlights package.
All the whiffs and mistakes and everything else, yeah?
Just the whiffs. Just the mistakes.
Oh boy.
Are there enough to encapsulate a single match? That is the question. But you probably want to know what happened if you're just tuning in. Well, BDS decided to pick Skyscraper.
Yeah.
Both teams went to it, and by a score of 7-4, BDS came out ahead. And at times it looked a little dodgy for both teams, frankly. BDS went off to that 4-0 start, and then Loss almost tied it up. It was 5-4 for BDS when Loss went on a tear. But then BDS played 2 really good rounds of Rainbow Six Siege, strategically sound, and without taking their time out, won the match.
There is one thing that has to be discussed, which is...
Discuss it.
It's 7-4, and BDS wins 3 individual clutches in a 1 versus 1. If you flip that, then it's 7-4 in favor of Lost Swan. So 3 very simple kills could change the entire outcome of this. And sure, BDS, he is the clutch master, but that's how Skyscraper went. Next up is going to be Villa, and if that doesn't happen, I'm curious to see how far Lost One can take it against BDS. See the stats, Shaq got 15 kills on top. Very impressive performance, 82% cost as well, and of course +2 on the entry. Tremendous amount of value on the board. But again, BDS gets 3 kills, BDS wins 3 rounds. That is even more impressive than 15 kills on Shaiko.
So we go to Villa now, a map picked by Lost One. Shaiko the leader in almost every single category of this event so far, for those that are paying attention. Kudos to him for that. Lots of cheering going on. One thing that Pengu and I have been trying to do is we've been trying to get out of the way of player comms, be that in the post round or during a timeout. Unfortunately, neither of these teams communicate in English. When I mean unfortunately, I don't mean culturally. I mean for you, the viewer at home. Because most of you watching probably speak English, and you probably want to hear what's being talked about. Because Lost One speaks Portuguese and BDS speaks French, probably not going to be able to understand it. Still, for those that are watching that do speak either of those languages, we will attempt to be quiet during parts of the timeouts and the post rounds, especially if the teams are getting quite rowdy. Just a nice thing that we're trying.
Yeah.
We noticed a couple days ago that, you know, you could very easily hear the coaches speaking, and you could very easily hear the players shouting at each other, and hey, it's good content.
No, that it certainly is, and a very rare insight to also get, both as a fan of the game, as a caster of the game. So when we have these rare opportunities, I feel like they should be taken. And it's been very enjoyable to listen to, and very insightful, I have to say as well. And sometimes you just get a really realistic view into just what can happen in terms of team comms when things are heated or frustrated, or like what the issues might be seen as in the team itself. And again, very valuable experience and insight to have as a fan of the game.
Absolutely correct. Operator bans have rolled in, by the way. BDS don't like Lion, and Zami is taken out of action. Now, Lion is an intriguing one because it was a staple operator of the Lost One offense on Skyscraper. Lost don't like Flores, despite playing it a lot on their attacks, and also don't like Valk at all. Those are gone. Again, though, Lost won at least 1 round because of that Valk cam inside a bedroom. So these were 2 operators that I honestly thought provided a ton of value for this Lost One team in the previous map. Now, obviously, operators play differently depending on the map, depending on the bomb sites, depending on the way you want to approach them. And if they're banning out Flores and they're banning out Valkyrie, then Lost One very clearly know how to play this map without them being staples.
Yeah. Also, I would say that with Valkyrie's ban rate across, averagely across the map for the last, 2 years, across any map rather, every single team has gotten comfortable playing without the Valkyrie. And I would argue that some teams might struggle playing with Valkyrie open because you're not really looking for those Valkyrie cameras as much as you used to be back before that ban phase was even a thing. So, shouldn't be too unfamiliar ground from either team. Flores and Villa also has a relatively high ban rate. as the Retera drones get so much value, as Villa has a lot of pain points with deployable shields and pieces of utility are a major factor. Also those Goyo canisters on the bomb site itself. If time runs low for Lost One here, that is going to be a problem. But not if Dash can have a say in that. It's going to clear one, make that two, as well as a single jammer, and the drone even stays alive. It's a good first 50 seconds spent for Lost One. They have yet to make any progress in the map itself. They're mostly outside the buildings, kind of figuring out where the entry points are going to be. With the exception of Lobin downstairs, tossing out 2 grenades. Not really doing any damage, but oh, Shaiko, he found Stutz. That's Finka.
Very first pick. BDS were about even with Lost when it came to first bloods on Skyscraper. In fact, just doing basic math, I think Lost actually came out ahead by a single first blood.
Yeah.
So Lost are getting these early advantages, but are still not translating those to rounds. There are 3 very distinct stages in a Rainbow Six map.
Yeah, that there are. Stage 1 is going to be your discovery phase, as we call it. You're gonna be what you see right now, essentially, droning out information, getting to the building. Stage 2, you're gonna start fighting. This is the setup, right? You're gonna fight for the ground that you care about, and sometimes you lose those gunfights as Shaiko finds Maya and fights for more.
Wants it. Oh, makes it look so easy. Lobin, don't lose your head. Shaiko denied the ace by Alems, who was unable to get a kill in the entire first half of Skyscraper. Ended up getting onto the score sheet afterwards, but it took him a while. He gets a kill in the very first moment of the very first rounds. Rise gets a drop onto Shaiko, who will continue to bleed out. You might as well secure the kill. Why not? Do it for the stats. Drone still in the corner, giving intel on Shaiko's position. Rise has a lot more work to be done, though. 4 players to be found on BDS. 30 seconds to go. Nobody over towards 90, but 1 on landing. That's EFAC, and round number 1 goes to BDS.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay.
Focus.
I was gonna
It's the
say,
same in every language.
Yeah, I would say I don't speak much French, but I see them making like weird sounds and noises and like expressions, and then he's like focus. So having too much fun here, perhaps. RE Team BDS. It is Villa defense. It is arguably the easy part about this matchup is going to be defending this map, as attacking is significantly more difficult. But going back to the stages of a round, because that's going to be valid every single round. The very first stage, about the first minute and 30 seconds of that round, that is going to be your discovery phase as an attacker, where you drone out the map, figure out the roamers are. Do you want to go for a direct attack? So in this case, attack master bedroom itself, head on into the bomb site, or go for a roam clear, right? Go to the south side of the map into office and go all the way through it. Then, once that roughly 1 minute 30 seconds has passed, you're in stage 2. That is going to be the setup. At this point, you should be near the bomb site, fighting opponents or just finished fighting those opponents, and figuring out exactly how you are going to plan on the 3rd stage, which is the execute. So you have a discovery, into setup, into execute. And if you do it correctly, do it well, you'll win the round, just like that, in an ABC kind of fashion. Defenders, of course, you can either play just on the bomb side and wait for the attackers to come to you, or get aggressive, right? Contest them when they want to enter the building, slow them down, maybe get a kill. Do what Shaiko just did. Run around, get 3 kills, basically just win the round for your team. And people on the bomb side, they didn't do a thing. Rede didn't fire a bullet. Neither did Renshiro. And they didn't, well, Renshi actually, is that a different assist? I can never tell with the order these days. You know them by Hard Parker?
So it goes kill, death, assist, KDA.
Okay, so he did fire a bullet. That was my only point. Renshi fired a bullet, but Rede did not.
Maybe it was a gadget. Maybe Renshiro was playing an operator where the gadget.
Valid point.
I know that.
Valid point, actually.
It doesn't undermine what you're saying, by the way.
Yeah. No, my point being that sometimes as an anchor player, the side player, you don't need to do much. You sit on cameras, give information if there is any to be... Ooh,
That's
don't tell me he fell off the edge. He must have, because no enemies nearby.
This could be a subtle way of telling us that it was Shaiko who's the reason why he's in that position, but Loban's picked back up. That does waste time, though.
It does.
Because somebody has to come get you. Villa's a very large map, one of the largest maps in the map pool. And if nobody's nearby, that can be 10 to 15 seconds in each direction that you're running to retrieve that last player. 30 seconds is make or break in a lot of these rounds. So something small like that, that snowballs. Yeah. And each avalanche starts as a single snowflake.
And Loban only has 20 HP to make things even worse.
Oh no, Shaiko, that's a clone. There you go. See, remember when I said sometimes I get a little
I was scared.
I was like, there's no way. Dash on the hunt. Shaiko takes out Maya before Dash can get there, but Shaiko,
he reads it.
He knows it's coming. Beautifully done. How do you even contend with this? Loban tries to get into the bomb site. He's been boxed out. Those castle barricades protected by the laser gates. He'll link up with the rest of his team, focusing on astronomy. Rise upside down. There's only 2 players from Lost left. Loban is one of the last surviving players despite being down so earlier. BDS hurtling towards a flawless round, and if they keep playing the way they've played so far, they're going to get it. Loban creeping up, diffuser nearby. It's Rise to take some damage. BDS ever so patient. Both players have lost inside a bathroom. A logic bomb will go off for flank watch, just for good measure, but Lost is losing out on time at this point. Finally a kill, but there's only a single one, and hilariously, it's actually Loban who gets the kill on a tiny portion of HP. Trading out immediately, BDS get both kills inside of the bathroom to go up 2-0. Timeout by Lost. Lost one already.
I mean, I think that's the right call with how things are going and how they were. The last time when they took the timeout, they started winning.
Nosso melhor mapa, vocês vão trazer essa porra de volta. Léo, na hora que você tá com a aviação, que você tava tirando bastante gol, tinha cara na principal, porque eu acho que não tinha.
Of course, as the coach, you get to watch all 5 point of views without bias, without pressure, more importantly as well.
Causa caos e sai, passa uma mensagem, viado. Tá ligado? Eles estão dando muito espaço pra jogar.
So there's more often not very valid things to be taken away from this.
Tá ligado? Pra brincar. Entra, pune essa aqui, volta, já libera espaço do outro lado. Não vê espaço e fica com medo de entrar.
And it seems very evident to me, at least, that there has been some things noticed that wants to be, or the coach rather, wants to correct in this. And last time, need I remind you the exact scenario? It was after Lost One was down 0-4, technical timeout was taken. They won the following 3 rounds, found opening kills, everything, massive success. I'm sure it's not that simple as technical timeout, coach says some words, boom, magic happens. But when you're finding yourselves in a tough place, having just a breather for a full minute where you're not under pressure or stress or in that environment of fighting someone like BDS, where your coach can give you some words of motivation, encouragement, also strategical elements that he thinks, or that he sees rather, and knows that are going wrong in your gameplay, that can definitely make the difference. It can be as simple as what operators you should play. Things that he notices of weaknesses from the opponent themselves, or saying, guys, I notice right now the vibes are down. We function better when the vibes are high. Get it together, get back into it. We are one team. Don't fight each other. I know it's easier to say, but despite 5 people working together in a professional setting and you are on the same page and same team, sometimes there can be a bit of conflict because you see the game differently. Or, of course, bits of frustration in the server when things aren't going the right way. Every team has gone through it at some point, even the most successful ones.
I think there's frustration that was showing through as well, right?
Yeah.
I honestly don't speak Portuguese, and I know that the manner in which they speak and the mannerisms they use might be different from the ones that we use in North America, and even the ones that Canada uses versus America. I get that much.
Yeah.
But it certainly seemed like the coach of Lost One was not particularly happy.
No, should he be, right? If you're losing 0-2 now, you're down 0-4 in the previous map, and you're losing a match that you believe you should be winning, I wouldn't be happy either, because you expect more from yourself and from each other.
Well, it's a minute in, and Lost One's already in the building. EFAC discovered, but has a long avenue to get back up through the basement. It's a part seldom used. Shaiko with a run out while we're watching EFAC scamper off. Rise is gone. It's an explosion. I'm assuming that's a nitro cell that goes off.
Can't be actually, no. 2 nitros in pocket, 4 impacts in pocket.
And what was that
Something
explosion?
else went off. Could be a bit of a breach in charge, perhaps.
Yeah, it could have been a breach
Base,
charge
yeah.
above, actually. Yeah, dash.
Yeah, dash.
Dash down one, yeah. Understandable.
Oh, bit of a...
Ash, speaking of, by the way, gets 1 kill, 2 to add to the tally. Finka Surge goes off, Dots a kill as well. The dot dash combo. Dash yet another, what is happening? Losts are just collapsing on this bomb site. Breeday pulls a Nitro Cell, it's a little bit too late. He saw one, can't secure, Loben in a tricky position. Easily thwarting the defense is set out by BDS. Lost one, recover. Have a very strong, very nice round.
I mean, they played well off each other, but I have to say, BDS making more mistakes than Lost One were succeeding in that round. There was zero reason for Leaky Fact and Shackles to peek Astro Stairs and Brown Stairs. I noted down here, Ego Peak. There is zero reason for it. You go top floor, you have vertical control off the bomb site, Breeday, grinding information, you can shut down that member of Lost One up above. At the very least, maybe wait a second, because you're swinging into a pre-fire from Dash, and he wins both of those gunfights with ease. A third one after, of course, on towards the bomb site itself, and Lost One, they just steal the round. But that's the tertiary bomb site for BDS. That is arguably the easiest one to get. So it's expected of Lost One to find the victory there, if any. The real challenge is, can they win on the hardest one, which is going to be the AVG defense in most scenarios, and the scenario that they're facing right now. They are changing the operators a bit. Finka's being brought on the board. I actually like this, because thinking about it, right, a lot of this kind of turmoil is happening.
Did you just say thinking about it?
Yeah, think about it.
Finka. I'm thinking about it.
See, that's not where I was going, but yeah, think about it, right?
I'm thinking about it.
Finka against BDS, a gunfight-heavy team. I mean, if I was Lost One, I'd want to get a bit of a health boost, you know, a bit of a help in those gunfights, and it just keeps finding kills. Dots and Dash, they're doing magical things here for Lost One. Alems falls early. Is on the Goyo, so his gadget lives on, can still stall for time later in the round. The Finka might do some good work here. The Ying, of course, to execute later on. No heart breach, however, not even a secondary can opener, so all the walls that are reinforced will stay reinforced.
It was a Brazil versus Brazil matchup back when we used to cast Pro League out of Poland.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Liquid versus somebody else. I can't remember.
I don't remember that team.
It was like Team Liquid? You don't remember Team Liquid?
No, that's somebody else.
It was like Team Liquid versus Boot Camp or something like that, or it might have been Team One, I can't remember.
Okay.
And Team Liquid just didn't bring any hard breach on Villa, which at the time was unheard of. It was unthinkable. And it worked. It absolutely worked out. I mean, I guess if you just go for straight kills, overrun the bomb site, box them out, bring your anti-flank, it'll work out, I suppose. Alems is dead, by the way, so BDS have lost one. Starting out on good footing.
Yep, that's a nice one. I remember Reciprocity in North America. They started doing the same thing where they play no heart breach and people question them for it, but it works out. Execute comes from Lost One, aggression starts right. What?
Renshiro has the shotgun out and that thing just does wonders! Renshi, 2 massive kills. Cannot outsmart Loben, charging up the stairs with the Finka LMG in hand. 1 Adrenal Surge left, waiting for it to recharge. A 3v3. Big moment for BDS. All because of Renshi. Oh, nice shot from Dots onto EFAC. Shaiko and Breeday in a 2v3. Breeday hasn't really had an opportunity to show off the skills in Villa the same way that he did on Skyscraper. But if there's 2 players on this team that you want to do well, these are them. Well, 1 now. It's just Breeday, a down, but cannot do much against Dots. Lost One gets 2 rounds in a row. The timeout seemingly settling the nerves. Tie game.
Once again, the timeout is actually doing wonders for them, and I'm stunned by what happened in that round. Renshi's double kill was absolutely absurd, but then Dots rappelling in 90 window as well, hitting a nice, there it is. I mean, if Renshi gets the triple there, that is going straight onto YouTube. Even the double can probably go in there. But Dots 90 rappel in, getting the pre-fire onto red stairs, and the second wall bang onto Shag on the bar desk. Round-defining kills for Lost One. It gets them in both times. Of course, you get 2 kills, and you're shutting down key positions. Red stairs and bar desk, all within the span of 20 seconds. And the other members of Lost One didn't really do that much work because it was done for them by Dots. Lems falling early a lot of rounds in this particular matchup. It was the same story on Skyscraper. Lems was 0-5 or 0-6 before anything started happening. And sure, he is 2 for 2 right now, but he's falling in the first 20 to 30 seconds. It's way too early, especially in Villa. Unless you're spawn peeking or getting caught somewhere for whatever reason, you shouldn't really be dying that early in the round, given how big the map is and how long it takes attackers to reach the building in the first place.
Lost also aren't being that quick on this map either. I mean, it's not like they're taking their time the same they did on Skyscraper. They're certainly not as slow as we've seen them be. But this is no pace that can't be evenly matched by a good roam or a very hard anchor setup on defense. You know, there's nothing that I've really seen, at least so far. Maybe we've missed it. But there's nothing I've really seen so far from these Lost executes that have wowed me that BDS should be having a great degree of trouble on when it comes to entry.
No, I agree with you. I mean, it all really boils down to a simplicity of gunfights, right? It's like if you win the gunfights with a nice shot, then that's that. And right now, Lost One, they are shooting back. They're in great form. BDS going for a more structured setup right now, playing that red stairs hole with magnets. Deployable shield on site has not been destroyed yet, so Shaiko can assist as a second entry, or second helper essentially. Rangey fishing below, finds another head. SMG-11 is a monstrous gun in this guy's hands.
Dash down, BDS with that very first kill. Shaiko looking for more. Does a lot of damage. The Adrenal Surge keeps them in it. EFAC doesn't want any of that smoke. He goes down, but Maya does. That engagement favors Lost, and Maya gets on the board with kill number 1. Nitro Cell hucked out by a Lems, but target is not found. Open has so many bullets. Still 40 to go after dispatching a Lems, and BDS are reduced to Renshiro and Bride.
I'm getting PTSD from this Fink LMG. I'm scared right now. And I'm sure if you're BDS, we all knew what happened during that meta for like 6 months. The Fink LMG is the scariest thing that's ever happened to Rainbow Six Siege in terms of pure like gunplay and raw power. C4, prepped and ready and sort of short. But the thing is, Lost One already passed that point. Instead of long, it shouldn't do too much damage unless you walk back onto it. Nope, does nothing.
Bride though, still in the same position. It's almost like we were sharing a brain right there. And she's been spotted both by a player and by a drone. How well can he deal with this SMG-11? That'll be a tight spot. And crept up on by Rise. The back stairs. Shotgun out. Oh, and Renshi gets the kill. It's all up to Bride as Dot secures. Bride taking some damage, what looked like from the fires. Dot's getting the plant down. Bride will need to kill the Overwatch first. Can't do it. He's good in clutches, but it seems like, well, his luck might have ran out in this matchup. 3 in a row from Lost One.
Timeout as well. After this replay by BDS, they too need to rein things back in control. Renshi there. Oh, you know what happened? Renshi didn't cock the shotgun after firing his previous bullet. That's why it was a delayed shot from his side. It's a very unfortunate circumstance when that happens because that could have made a huge difference in the round because of the deployable shield position that he would be conquering or holding up over otherwise.
On leur donne des routes. On n'aura pas de time-out pour le côté attaque maintenant. Donc l'attaque, après, il va falloir sortir ses balls. Ok? Ok, donc là, défense master, on peut faire la même. Vraiment, go dormir, s'il vous plaît. Genre, c'est une dinguerie. Genre, vraiment, c'est ça quand même. En plus, ils ont rien changé. Ils ont fait un time-out, ils ont rien changé. C'est juste nous, on s'est excité. Allez, go! Go master, les gars, go master, hein. Elle est passée très bien la master. Allez, go les gars, là. Allez là! Go.
I'm gonna decipher the best that I can. Something about, okay, so what I gathered is either they wanna hold master bedroom or the enemy's gonna attack master bedroom. That's all I could gather. And that might be entirely like way off. But maybe it's accurate. We'll see. At least the bomb sites has some sort of relation to master bedroom. So maybe. At the very end of that, you know, it was very first, it was very evident. It was like a strategical talk about what's going wrong, we gotta fix, etc. And then the last half is, not last half, the last 10 seconds is clapping and saying, let's go, you know, good vibes, etc. And every team can benefit from having a yes man. League Effect doing his interviews in the NA, the EUL rather. is a very high-spirited individual, very happy, joking around, etc. If you know Lemsh back in Team Secret, Team IDK days, also back in the year 3 of EOL, also a very happy guy. So I'm sure that even during these times where things are not going BDS's way, the vibes should be alright, the mood should be in a setting where they can still thrive and find success. They will extend into Master Bedroom with deployable shield, castle barricades. Lost one, perhaps going for a downstairs take. They have a ton of grenades, 6 to count, because Nuke is not banned. You can get that 3rd set. Otherwise, you gotta bring out the glass with grenades, and nobody wants to do that. Haven't seen this many grenades in a while, but this used to be the old meta just about 6 months ago, and Finka and Maverick had theirs as well before that patch was introduced into Pro Play or into Siege in general, which of course affected both Maverick and Finka's play rate. Nuke then started getting banned a ton, and therefore we only see Ayana and Sledge typically with those pieces of utility.
It really is interesting to see how those operator changes completely shaped the meta, and frankly, how little it actually did. I mean, people were decrying the 1-speed change to Sledge as a killer. Oh, it's going to absolutely destroy Sledge. Oh, it's going to absolutely destroy Mute. And it just didn't. These are still incredibly pivotal operators, even if they are 1-speed. And I think it's put the game in a much healthier place. I will say it has not really fixed Zofia. Zofia, by getting her LMG nerfed and now being a 1-speed, not exactly an operator that seems to show up all that often. Renshiro looked certain to be the first casualty in this match, but while he was down, Loban died. Only now have Lost One been able to secure the kill onto Renshiro. So technically, first duel breaks even to BDS. Shaiko gets gunned down by Maya. They look very human in this matchup.
Yep, gods can bleed. Oh, okay. Just curious what happened there. League Attack finds Dash instead. A relatively easy kill. Gets away at full HP. 3v3, however. Anyone's ball game, but Dots walks in towards Astra here. It's a huge moment.
Bride has the read on it, and there he goes. Following up, can't do more than a single kill. Lost just cleaning house right now, and EFAX return to the bomb site. Greeted at the end of a barrel. 4 in a row for Lost. BDS started off so strong, it seemed okay. It's the confidence that they displayed on Skyscraper. It's going to propel them to a 2-0. Not the case. Lost One in full control of that first half of Villa.
Now things get scary for BDS. Attack on Villa is not easy to do. And even more so, they're losing gunfights, and they're losing a ton of them. Shaiko is being out-dueled by Maya. The previous round before that it was Dots. The Finka, when Lost One started playing that particular operator, really helped shape the course of the round. Honestly, in those small moments. BDS, they might need something of their own. Now there is one thing that BDS has that they did not have, or they didn't have last time. Ayana is on the board, so one more set of grenades will be in every single round here. On Skyscraper, Ayana was target banned by Lost One. Shaiko was forced onto Ash. Sure, he gets self-destruction. It's not quite the same. Those Gemini clones as well. Gaining further information.
5 seconds left.
Mirror being brought out. I have not seen a Villa Mirror in quite some time. Both being put towards the office part of the map, so you can pretty much hold that with utility and extend into Master Vigil with more manpower. It's a way to free up the soldiers, if you will. League effect on the Nuke, of course, going downstairs, get in the building fast. With Venshi's phone calls, can grant him some information or have him to drone for him forward. Try and go for those easy picks if they present themselves.
So they present themselves, or you make your own luck. Shaiko was prepared for the run on the Loban. Here's the logic bomb go off. That's not a hard kill for BDS at all. You got the Mute off the board. What do you have access to? A Nitro cell that he did. So no explosives available from the Mute any longer, just a single Nitro cell in the hands of Rise. I suppose, if we're being pedantic, in the pocket of Rise. Yes.
Yes.
Shallow and pedantic.
Dash is flanking Esther stairs. Could easily get a kill here. They don't know. Like BDS, they checked this earlier, but it's kind of gone unseen, unnoticed, unless... No, they have no idea.
They might know that Dash is here lurking below. First round of the second half. BDS with that early advantage, but haven't been able to capitalize much off of it yet. Slowly closing in on the bomb site upstairs. EFAC taking his time down below. Renshiro spotted by Maya. Maya taking some damage, but there goes the Dokkaebi. The logic bombs had both been used by my count, Nick. And there's the flank from Dash taking out Bride. Nade will go from below. Rai sustaining some damage, but BDS still in this. Diffuser in front of Shaiko, but needs to know where the next target is going to come from. Nice shot from Alems onto Maya. And EFAC will pop the Mira window, but I don't think the nade is coordinated just well enough. They don't really have a line of sight, and Alems, no, an unfortunate team kill. BDS, you had such a good thing going, and now you've got a blind spot that's going to be exploited. Shaiko against the world. Has to tussle with the Black Mirror. Gets pushed upon by the Jaeger, but he can actually rope around the site at this point. Smoke canisters will go out, one left, 20 seconds to go. That means that Shaiko will inhale some of that toxic gas. Ooh. But Dots has been dropped by the nade. The Mirror will need to recover. Shaiko doesn't have information though. All you need to do is play time. Rise inside of the vault. Shaiko looking to the right, but he's to the left. Running out of time. He'll swoop around, but Rise is prepared for it. That's as close as it gets. Lost pick up yet another. They are marching their way towards putting Villa into the history books.
Damn, a nice attempt for a fake out for Shaiko. A beautiful nade toss, make that 2 actually. But the flying from Dash, that is the problem for BDS. And if you go all the way back to Skyscraper, there were like 3 rounds in a row where BDS were continuously getting flanked by Lost One, but because they were winning the rounds, they might not have thought that much of it. BDS didn't even check Astro's stairs at any moment. Sure, the phone call came out, EFAC dropped down the hatch next to it, didn't hear him, but no flank drone was ever put by BDS inside of Astro, master bedroom, or the staircases themselves. And Dash created so much space for his team. Shaiko almost had it, but couldn't quite get it. 5-2, and again attacks on Villa. It's not easy. Lost One, they figured it out after round number, what? Let's see here. After round number 3, that's where things started picking up for them. On that tertiary bomb set of Kitchen. Ever since winning that, it was 4 straight. All off the back of a tactical timeout by their coach earlier on after round number 2. BDS, they've already called their timeout. They don't have any left. So if things don't work out for attack now, yeah, well, there's no way to figure out how to fix that besides the players in the server. Coach cannot help you.
A mental reset definitely needed, especially with that team kill. How close that round came, think about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that just, it weighs in the back of your mind. These are professionals, they'll get over it in time, but
it sucks.
It does suck and it adds up. When things are already going bad, that's the last thing you want.
Not a playable shield here inside the master bedroom. Both teams doing the same thing. You have to clear it out. Otherwise, the enemy can swing the master bedroom door aggressively without being contested. Ooh, that's not ideal. Second hit goes out. We have more in pocket. Don't worry about it. And the good thing is, we have 2 sets as Renchi's on the sledge as well. Is on that Astro Repel to cut the bomb set in half. Make sure nobody flanks BDS from the bathroom area and towards bathroom into master bedroom. Closet angle opened up, can jump in. Dash looking for a cheeky pistol kill. No one's peeking their heads out though just yet.
Brief pause. Walk on the mute jammer to silence the phone. Alems jumps in, but where's the intel? Loban greets him with open arms. BDS suffering the first casualty in this round. Lost One prevails. We go to a 3rd map. Very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's not far away.
No, it's match point next. Good news for BDS, though, is that if Lost One prevails, you don't end up losing out. Can't say the same other way around. Shaiko, the next one to fall. It's in the hands of Maya. You hear the P90, you think maybe it's a Solus. Nope, nope, nope. It's, in fact, the Doc. EFAC up the Astro stairs. Two separate players to the right. BDS to take down Maya, but EFAC has his attention elsewhere. He's going to wander right into a sight line, but still managed to out-duel Dots in the process. Hello? How do you get away with that? Lobin has surrendered this position inside a bathroom. He's still in there, but he's allowed BDS to get around them. Dash hugging the bomb chassis. BDS is technically still outnumbered. Damage done to EFAC, holding that diffuser. Lobin will put him out of his misery. 4-match point. Lost one gets it.
Beautiful setup in Crossfire. This is one thing Latin can do really well always. It's that synergy and playing together in gunfights. Latin, when they first came to the international stage as a region, they weren't known to be the most strategical, but oh, they could shoot back to great effect. So good so that other teams had to just say, you know what, our strats might be good, but we're going to get brute forced. And that's why other teams started thinking, okay, strats are great, but good gunplay might be better. And you pair them together, that is how you see the current meta of Rainbow Six Siege, because every single region is learning from one another. And some people will be going, oh, what about APAC? No one learns from APAC. But let's go back. There are some very one-off things that APAC was actually the creators of. For example, we had the Ying shotgun meta way back in year 3 or so. That started over in APAC. So there, and then we even saw Ying shotgun, etc. We've seen Doc shotgun. We've seen weird kind of operator loadouts that typically should not be working out. They usually come from APAC. Then we have aggressive holds like we see in Chalet. That comes from LATAM and W7M. So every single region is constantly learning from one another, and it's why these international matches are so interesting, because that's when you see everything really come together. Of course, while these teams are boot camping before the event, you know, training during the event, you also get international scrims, practice games. So right now, when we're in Canada, you're going to see every single region scrim North American teams. Back in Berlin Major Jönköping, you're seeing them scrim European teams. So you start getting all these things mixed together. Lemsch getting in the mix of things gets Rise. Oh, that's way too easy. Gets Ash as well.
Seen a couple of these kills in this matchup.
We have.
Where they just walk in, they get a pick, and then they walk out. Dots slaying Shaiko. Shaiko's also had a very mortal game, 8-8. BDS 3-6. Hasn't been able to make much of an impact so far on attack. Both attacking rounds, losses 1, and they're going to continue this. EFAC is there to keep numbers close. He's gotten positive at least. The only player on the team who's actually positive right now. That's bad, and you don't see that from BDS all that often. BDS picks up 1 onto Lobin. Maya retreating to the bomb site. This is almost 1 round by BDS with Maya in a 1v3. But wait, they stack up, except for EFAC. He comes in from another part of the map, and he'll keep this matchup alive. Prior to this round, Lost One had managed to win 6 rounds in a row. Yeah. An incredible feat. This game is far from over. I feel like this is one of those games where we're either 3 minutes away from the end, or we're 30 minutes away from the end.
Yeah, this could definitely go out that direction. I'm curious to see if BDS will have that same kind of playstyle that we just saw throughout the rest of this, because when your back's against the wall in this, match point scenario, you have nothing to lose as the quote-unquote losing team. When you're behind, you might as well just go crazy. That round looked like it was BDS playing almost carelessly. Nobody was really entry droning. I mean, you saw Leaguefact walking alone, Lemsch walking alone, just taking gunfights, winning them, as BDS normally do. And that's it. Whereas in the previous rounds, they were being more cautious, taking it step by step, very logically, which is a correct/good way to play Rainbow Six Siege, but it clearly was not working in this particular matchup. So a change might be what they should be looking for, and they got rewarded the first time they tried it. See if they do it again. Buck from Renshi off the Dokkaebi. So just trying to think for myself where I would apply the Buck. Obviously, that would be a below case. But I did hear Leaguefact say during the player celebration something about main stairs. This could be a main stairs take. Buck goes below, do some vertical control, get the mirror windows, go office. That could definitely be the angle. Looking at the player spawns in BDS, it looks very likely as well, but Lost One, they're ready for it. They got main stairs shield, 3 ADSs. It's not going to be easy for BDS to pick that apart.
Not one bit. Grenade goes out. Renshi's there.
No.
Maya manages to take down Alems, but BDS finds 2 kills very quickly after that. Lost dominates the kill feed from that point forward. In the blink of an eye, 5 players have died. Bride and EFAC, the last 2 for BDS. Loss only down Maya and Dash, still with 3 players upright. And over 2 minutes to go. The craziest part of all of this. All it takes is 2 kills, and Loss propels us to Chalet to seal the deal.
League playing the Shadow Realm here. He's using the gadget, get into a safe spot, like a blind spot for the default cameras, then walk forward. If he can get in, and Bride makes a play off that, we're looking at 2v1 in favor of BDS. But this all lies on the back of League Effect. Bride can't do much from his position.
Well, if their eyes set very intently on where this advance will come from. They still have Heart Destruction in the Hibana. A nade to go out, but nobody inside of the vault to receive it. Very hard to breach into this site without walls being opened up, and even then you usually need to establish crossfires. Lost One will have their crossfires established, believe you me. Toxic Canister goes out, that's the last one from Dots. 1 minute left.
The barbed wire.
Flashes dump in, Bride goes the other way. Look at this patience from Lost One. They are not giving a single inch, and BDS has 0 intel. Inside a study, Rise prepares, waits. That's a kill for EFAC. No matter who wants to put their eyes in that direction, EFAC still comes out ahead. He and Bride will now enter from roughly the same area. Does somebody from Loss know this? Well, it's Loban playing by the A-bomb. Dots back inside a vault. That's where the nade had gone before. 30 seconds left now. So cautious for BDS. But Lost One, incredibly patient. Impact sails out. They know at least 1 player's inside of the vault. EFAC cleans up. Suddenly it's a 2v1 with Diffuser down, and then the post plant, Loban will come in for the recover. He takes down Bride. All he needs is EFAC, and then we have a 3rd map on our hands. Searching and hunting through the bomb site. Even his gadget won't save him at this point. But make some noise, maybe draw out EFAC. He's still a relatively new player. Loban hops on the Diffuser. He's sticking it. EFAC needs to go. He needs to go, but EFAC gets him at the last second. Ever close. 2 in a row from BDS as they continue to put rounds on the board and stave off defeat.
I mean, that is some excellent fishing, if I could say so. You know, just in that 2v3, they spent a minute, 40 seconds across the board just figuring out how to find a gap somewhere, all off the back of League Effect's gadget. Bride making noise, covering that barbed wire sound main stairs. And it was pointed out to me by the observer, there was a bulletproof camera on the floor of office looking at the ceiling essentially, which may or may not have been a way that League Effect could have been spotted early in the round. We'll never know. But either way, Lost One. Incredible patience from them. Sitting still for that long, which is the right play to do, is not easy to do. Easy for anybody to do, rather. Jesus. But they did it. They held the crossfires. The one big issue that they encountered, there was no way to deny a default plant behind the vault door. They had 1 impact grenade, no C4, no smokes, etc. So what's the plan if Bride just walks on in? Well, the thing is, they were not, accounting for the fact that they might lose office control. The moment Mirror dance out of office, that entire thing changes. BDS perfect read on the situation. Lost One, nobody flanked around 90, didn't really realize it, nor did they have time for it. BDS, they're in it. They're gonna fight tooth and nail, but again, 1 mistake. Lost One punishing them a single time. And we will see the 3rd map, which will be Chalet.
Rome for Lost One has been very good at the start of this half, but has fallen off a little bit. The one thing that BDS has over this Lost One team is experience at a top level. A lot of these names on Lost One will look very familiar to you. They've been around quite a while. I remember casting some of these names back in Poland, or at least I'm gaslighting myself.
Sometimes that happens, doesn't it?
I mean, I've been casting Rainbow Six now for like 6 years.
Yeah.
So it's been over half a decade. I've been casting this game, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of games, actually. You should go back and count them all.
I would actually love to cast the amount of, or count the amount of matches I've casted. But either way, doesn't detract from the point that I was making. BDS have patience, they have experience. But I mean, in this matchup so far, with this map, they just look like they're outmatched. It was close on map number 1.
Yeah.
It's proving to be equally close on map 2. Keep in mind, Skyscraper went to BDS 7-4. If Lost One wins this round, it's the exact same scoreline, just reversed.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it because Lost One got like 6 rounds in a row. It feels very one-sided. Now, you know, his comeback has started to show itself.
There's Shaiko taking a ton of damage, looking for a target, can't find it. Lost One gets the very first, then the second, the third as well, a fourth, and a flawless round if they can find Renshiro. That's all they need. 1 kill separates them from a 3rd map at the moment. Renshiro has patience, but they will just slowly close in on him and test his reflexes. He doesn't miss. A flawless end to the map. And Lost One take their own map, 7-4 over BDS.
Very convincing match from Lost One. I mean, that 6 in a row after the timeout tells the entire story of how Villa went. Their attacks were phenomenal, their defenses even so. Chalet is next in the menu, and honestly, I am not sure who is favored for this matchup.
No, this is a tight one. A very, very tight matchup. BDS stormed through Jönköping and looked like an unstoppable team. So did Liquid, and then they met, of course, in the finals with BDS coming out on top. But BDS has already shown some stumbles here. They lost to Cyclops Athlete Gaming. They almost lost to OXG yesterday. And while we did get a very exciting finish in the OXG matchup, there are obviously some concerns for BDS, and especially for their fans. Now Lost One has pushed the defending major champions to a 3rd map, and it will be a single best-of-1 shootout on Chalet to see which of these teams emerges victorious. We got a quick break ready for you, and then we'll be back for the thrilling conclusion of Lost One versus BDS.
I'm Nicholas Morton, but you know me as Pingu. I'm a 2-time Rainbow Six Siege World Champion and former top Rainbow Six Siege player in Pro League. Welcome to my Siege Ranked Bootcamp. We're talking 20 seconds left on the clock, you got the diffuser in hand, what do you do? Play the way that you're comfortable with, because you have confidence when you're in this position, that is when you're gonna be at your very best. Good luck.
for our final map, but before we get there, let's talk a little bit about Villa. Lost one, prevailing 7-4, the same scoreline that BDS prevailed all the way back on map number 1 of Skyscraper. Feels like an eternity ago. These teams have gone to war with one another, but what to you was the main storyline of Villa?
Honestly, I can simplify it. It comes down to pew-pew. All these highlights are very one-sided gunfights going in favor of one team or the other. And honestly, it sounds very simple, but that is the defining moments of these rounds. When you walk in as Lost One and you win 2 gunfights against Shaiko and League Effect, the round basically ends right there for the most part. Same thing goes the other way. The first 3 rounds of highlights, it's Shaiko running the building, or around the building as a defender, getting 2 or 3 kills. And again, Lost One, they can't get back into it. So for Chalet, the upcoming map, it's gonna be a similar story, I think, because it's gonna be an equally brutal map where gunfights has a massive say in who gets an advantage and who does not. It's not a clubhouse, it's not about the strats that much. The board on your screen, the cost, relatively high for everybody. Shaiko +1 entry, where on the side of Lost One, honestly, not even a single positive entry member. However, they won the entire map.
Honestly, a very close map if you just look at the scoreboard.
Very much so.
Loban obviously leading the way for the rest of the team, but Maya only +1 on KD. Rise +1 on KD. Dash -2. Shaiko -1. Renshiro -3. Alems -4. These are all a single round difference of being completely different on your screen right now. As you said in the matchup, and you put it so beautifully, gods can bleed. And that's exactly what we saw at a BDS. The fundamentals were not there on many entries. The drone work was not great. How many times did we see a member of BDS break through a window or go upstairs and just not have information?
Yeah.
The most egregious was a Lems jumping in the bathroom window and getting slaughtered from the triple panel wall inside of Master. Little things like that. Well, I guess that's a big one, but things like that, let's amend it.
Okay.
That can be a real killer. Because if that's a high utility operator, he dies. And you've now lost potentially 2 drones, you've lost that gadgetry, you've lost that gun. Not only are you just at a regular disadvantage, no team wants to find themselves in a 4v5, but the rest of your execute that likely relied on that player is now gone. It might seem small, but it's really quite large. Operator bans are coming in. We go to Chalet.
Nuke, of course, a target ban to League Effect, no surprise there. Bug is actually a relatively common ban against Latin teams on Chalet because of how efficient they are at using this particular operator, going below, bugging above, and all that possible soft destruction you will find on Chalet. It's every single bomb site because you're gonna play across all the floors. Solace, the newest member of Rainbow Six, a very strong one at that, denying information by finding drones, can open up flank opportunities, deny the plant from a below or above, also problematic on Chalet. And then Melusi, a target ban onto Shaiko typically. At least that's what Shaiko used to play on Chalet, just going back 4 months' time. So, clear respect from both teams here, saying, we know you're strong at this, we're gonna remove it, and they pay that same respect back. Now, Lost One, they were playing Mira 2 rounds on Villa, and in the very opening round, they're gonna go to the basement of Chalet, bring that same operator. That's gonna make sure that nobody from BDS can rush the bomb site from any breaches. It's gonna force them to go for a roam clear, get some verticality, or bring operators that can deal with those mirror windows. For example, a Ying or a Capitao, a Shield. Typically speaking, smokes to make sure that nobody can see through that mirror. Second one is gonna go inside of dining. That's going to give them fireplace cover as well. So when you think about this, the mirror in the basement, the way to clear it is to go into the fireplace room right here. So 1 floor up. But that floor is covered by the second mirror window. So it's a 2-step process for Lost One. If BDS wants to clear the first mirror, they got to clear the second mirror. And to do that, you need a full map control of top floor where they'll be running around roaming and holding library with an operator like Asami.
Just a note before we get into this very first round. Great diversity in the operator bans so far. The only duplicate ban across all 3 of these maps is Azami. Azami was banned out in maps 1 and 2. We will finally see her as Loban picks her right off of the bat. But take a look at these operators. Iana, Thatcher, Bandit, Azami, Lion, Flores, Valk, now Nook, Buck, Malusi, and Solus. Yeah. That is a phenomenal difference from map to map to map. And it really goes to underscore how these teams approach each map differently. Skyscraper is not Villa, Villa is not Chalet. Border would play out differently, as would Clubhouse. Good news for BDS. Ren Shiro starts off hot. A minute into this matchup, and the Valkyrie is gone. But again, persistent gadgetry is the name of the game. As long as all three of those black eye cams have been put up, Dash will still continue to provide value to this team, even if he's dead. Shaiko is down, reunited with Yana on attack. No easy way to drone yourself in, no easy way to guide yourself in either. And both teams will find themselves into a 4v4 with half of the round to play.
Speaking of how to deal with those mirror windows earlier, it seems like BDS are going for a pretty stable executor, right? Get the main breach, that's where the first mirror window is facing, that's been done. Then you go towards that backside area, so west main, kitchen, dining, and trench control. Get open that trench wall, the big deep wall inside the car garage, as they have here with Leakyfac. And then you can try and start setting up this backside execute. That means you can circumvent both of those mirror windows, but Lost One, they have, first of all, a roamer top floor. That's a Sami, that's a problem. But secondly, smoke inside a trench with a deployable shield, not very commonly done. BDS would need kitchen control to help kill that player, or just win a gunfight that they're not supposed to be winning by just challenging through trench door.
EFAC now on that Hibana that we saw Shaiko play so frequently, time and time again. Did that keep a barrier actually go off? It looked like they might have botched it.
I think he botched it, yeah.
I think he botched it. Was looking for cover on the blue stairs, but I don't think he got it. We'll have to wait and see if one of the players can give us a perspective, as there's no free cam available to use. Not the way that we want it, at least. Nope, it actually worked. Our apologies. It looked like a botch, but it wasn't. EFAC a kill Renshiro number 2 before he's ended by Maya. There's a down on the Bride. It's a 2v2. Diffuser getting dropped. Alems will go down. The Nitro cell works. Alems can't get it done. And Lost get all three of the final players of BDS very quickly. They're up round 1.
And again, the synergy from Lost One. The moment Mirror swings blue door, toss that C4, the second member swings connected door. So either the C4 goes off, kills the planter, or the connected guy will swing the pillar successfully and kill the planter, or the guy covering as well. There's no lose scenario for Lost One. They're trading 1-for-1 at worst case, and at best case, a 2-for-0 into a straight round victory, which is what we just saw. BDS, they were not comfortable, taking control of that round, that backside execute. They opted for one member dropping the hatch to bomb site, killing the members out of trench, but getting traded by blue. So they trade evenly, but that always, or at least most commonly, favors defenders. If you're in a 2v2, more often than not, favors the defenders because they have the map control, they own the bomb site, etc. In the 3v3, similar story. Attackers, they have all these tools like grenades and flashbangs, smokes, drones, etc. And the sole purpose with that is to leverage those pieces of utility to gain advantage in manpower or significant map control to establish a plant. That is quite literally the 2 ways to win on the attacking side, because the defenders are not supposed to be running into your crosshairs. That's not how it goes, at least at this level of play. However, there are 2 members spawn peeking. Renshiro on the rock.
I mean, you gotta get under their skin, right?
You do?
CAG showed that they could get under the skin of BDS. OXG did the same thing. This BDS team doesn't look as mentally resilient as they did at the last major. Still an obvious contender, but yeah, I don't know. They have shown signs that they can be slowed down. And taking Renshiro out the sledge, a lot of your soft destruction is now gone. Set of nades is gone. That's a big loss.
No, I mean, it certainly is. And it's more the fact that it seemed very careless from BDS. I mean, that's the most common spawn peak on all of Chalet. And almost everyone knows better than to go up on that rock if you spawn there, because you are just risking something that you should not be risking at all. You go left or you go right. You don't go up the rock itself. It's not worth it. Unless you have information that nobody, in fact, are going to be spawn peeking it. But there was not just one member of Lost One. There were 2. They were so prepared for anybody doing it, and they get rewarded. And now BDS, they gotta pick up the pieces, and to make matters worse, they gotta speed things up, and they gotta deal with this pain point. Top blue stairs, deployable shield, chimney. There's not a shield, but there's a member there. Keeper barriers, warden, etc. There are so many things to fight against. I actually lied, there's no Sami, but there are yokai drones to change that around. So breaking this barrier right here, that double door, the office soft wall, that is the most difficult thing about this round for any attacking team. Once you get past it though, the round ain't over, bomb site's downstairs.
Loban falls back just ever so slightly. He'll lose that shield, but he can come back up and re-engage. Unfortunately, there is a sound cue that he's in the vicinity. Alems gets slaughtered by Maya, but EFAC and Shaiko find kills of their own. Just inches away from getting into this bomb site. He's playing up above in library, tempting fate as the drone has just been thrown at his feet, and now Dots is finished off. That was the Echo, isolated and punished for it. Shaiko dispatched to take care of Rise, but he drops and gets back into the bomb site before heading to back bar. All the while, the other player from Lost still up. That's Dash. He's playing on the stairs leading down to Garage. I don't know if they've spotted the Oryx, but that T5, it's a beast of a weapon. It's got the extended barrel on it, relatively low recoil, and he can reposition with those dashes that Oryx has very quickly. Evading some lines of sight, 15 seconds to go.
15 seconds remaining.
Dash still on the stairs. EFAC allowed to get into the bomb site. Down goes Brede. You might not even need the Oryx, as Rise can do the job, but he cannot. Now it's EFAC and Dash 1v1, and Dash wins it. Both have their sidearms out, but it's Lost who comes out on top.
They both go for the pistol. Okay, Oryx is shotgun close quarter. And I assume that, you know, member BDS, he wanted speed. Secondary, you know, pistol, not an SMG, is going to be fast and movement speed-wise than a primary. But oh my, that's not what I expected at all. Another close round. BDS, they got the hardest part done. They broke that top floor hold. Got close to the bomb site, but things fell apart once more and Lost one. Really thriving off momentum right now. Ever since that timeout back on Villa, in round number 2, well after it ended, so beginning of round number 3 essentially, they have been on a heater, winning gunfights, they have no business winning, but most importantly, they really got on the same page. That's the biggest difference in my opinion. Before, they were quite scattered, the trades weren't happening, they were playing very far from one another on the map, over a 3-second sprint, you cannot trade effectively. Now, they are on each other's heels in half of these gunfights. Of course, the other half can't always be close to someone else, otherwise you're not going to have much map control at all. But the members that can, they are playing tight. Members that whose job is to roam far off, they are far off, and that's only fair.
We're still in the discovery phase, as you talked about. The 3 phases of Rainbow Six. Discovery, mid-round, execute. Mid-round is really just like this nebulous term. It can mean anything. Discovery is typically a minute, 15 seconds. Mid-round is anywhere from that point onwards till the 40-second, 30-second mark, but execute is typically 40, 30 seconds.
Sometimes it's the last 5 seconds.
And if you're old Vitality, it's always the last 5 seconds.
Boy. Surprising enough, that was so hard to play against, I'll tell you that much. BDS are taking more time now, and I mean, that's the downside of getting spawn peaked. You gotta now just make sure that you dot the I's and cross the T's. Very slow, in fact. Just entered library with 1 minute and 10 seconds into the round. Oh, okay.
It's so easy for Shaiko. First kill, but traded immediately, and then loss with 2 kills. They gained the upper hand. BDS walked in, they thought they had something going, but they did not. They'll equalize. Downs the Kaid, downs the Valkyrie, they're both finished off. Was that both Nitro cells unavailable now? Both dying in the pockets of Lost One.
Yeah.
That's not great.
No, I mean, to be honest, with dining bomb site, the C4s for plant purposes, not a huge deal, but there's no smoke being brought either. The upstairs hold right now is the big question mark. Is Lost One gonna hold on or fall back? If you surrender top floor, well, BDS, they can do some vertical damage because Alemj has those breaching charges, as you see right here. And Lost One are playing far enough back upstairs that Alemj can start some of it while holding Lost One back. 40 seconds though. You also gotta hit up the bomb site. 12x Kairos. BDS They want to fight.
And Maya gets the gunfight right in front of his very eyes. Alemj walks out with that one. Dots and Rise working together. One in the bomb site, one far enough back. All the soft destruction in front of the eyes of Rise. Dot's position revealed as Alemj goes down. Brede holds on to that diffuser. Very hot on Skyscraper, but not really all that much past that. Leaky Fat confirming the kill onto Dots. It'll be him and Rise in a 1v1, taking a ton of damage over from those Solarium stairs. Down through Trophy, he'll have to go. Wait out the time. You know that he can't fall off the plant. Rise knows this, but can he get there in time? Yes, he can. He sees the booty, and he smacks the booty. Lost 3 in a row to start off Chalet.
That's gotta be a tactical timeout. They haven't called it yet, but I am questioning when you do it, because I would pull the plug right now. Take a second. Sure, we can talk about maybe it'll be defender-sided, maybe it'll be attacker-sided. But either way, I think BDS, you gotta just talk about things right now. It is not working out. Even though Maya kind of gave you a free kill upstairs, fighting when his teammates kind of fell backwards, you still lose out in the 3 versus 2 to, again, individual gunfights. That's what I predicted. The pew-pewing here, the defining moments. I mean, it is Chalet. It comes down to gunfights more often than not. The last one, they are indeed shooting back. Basement again, similar setup with those mirror windows to establish map control. oNe, none. No Bandit, no Mute, no Kaid. They say take the walls if you want them. I mean, last time they even played trench rotation, which is more, yeah, there it is again. No need for oNe, they're open up for them. Makes sense. I mean, if you're playing Kaid for this one, that wouldn't actually make a lot of sense.
5 seconds left before insertion.
It's no denial band either. It's Melusi and Solus.
Yeah.
So it's not like they can't bring a Mute. It's not like they can't bring a Bandit. Bandit was banned all the way back on Skyscraper. No denial band on Villa. No denial band again on Chalet. I remember Consulate when it was in the map pool.
Oh.
One of the strategies of Na'Vi was to reinforce 2 of the panels and then leave a 3rd one soft. And they didn't really care about denial much either, because they knew you were going to get that one panel opened up.
Yeah.
But that was the point. Just like you can win a Villa round without any hard breach.
Yeah, there are many ways to approach rounds in Rainbow Six Siege, and honestly, the thing about oNe is that if you play Mute, Bandit, or Kaid, you're not supposed to, you know, deny the wall being opened ever. It's a matter of wasting time and resources. Make it difficult for the opponent, make it a burden. That's cutting it close there. So the expected outcome is not to never open up the wall, just that it's gonna take 20-30 seconds extra. Last one don't need time for this one. You just gotta play it smart and play together. BDS, they gotta problem solve all the obstacles, mirror windows, the breach, the trench member of Dots. Jackal track, however, makes it easy for the room clear. Way too easy. Again, there are just these moments where it's very one-sided gunfights, and this right here, what we saw, that should be the round over in favor of BDS. They have a minute and 30 seconds, they got 2 opening kills, they got the mirror window, the breach, etc. They're in a great position. However, last one, they have this tendency in the late stage of the round to find the picks left and right they have no business finding. It's been Maya on this map, 5 and 2. Rise, 5 and 1. They're both still alive on the board. Leak Effect chasing footsteps that are expiring.
Finally gets one.
Yeah.
Onamira, of all players, down below, hovering between blue and wine. In lieu of breach charges, please bring a Rotero drone. Or multiple Rotero drones.
Such a versatile operator, honestly.
An excellent operator, too.
Yeah.
I know that the AR-33 might not be the sexiest gun for people, but boy, oh boy, he's worth bringing. EFAC on the stairs takes down Dots, but an answer back. Lost one, have just a single kill through this round. They're 3-0 on defense. Perfect rotation. Got some work to be done if they want to go up by 4. Nitrocell shot away as Maya defends this black mirror, looking towards Snowmobile. Smoke will clear. Maya stops it in its tracks. But it's Maya in a 1v2. Gets time for the reload with the Vector. That's huge. But needs to square up his body. Only a single one left! Maya with one of the best clutches of the tournament! If anybody's ever earned a congratulatory chest slap, it's Maya over that. Look at it, target isolation.
Jesus.
Don't take engagements 1v1, I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, even swinging into the flashbang, recognizing if you don't swing, you can't see it all. If you swing with the flashbang, you might get a glimpse of the whereabouts. If you flick before the flash triggers, you can get the kill. That's 4 headshots when the first 4 bullets each shot, or each burst rather. And I mean, I said Maya in the late round, finding these kills, he has no business finding, does it again. And that right there is the timeout.
Go les baiser là. Et arrêtez, faites juste ce que vous devez faire. Arrêtez de vouloir faire plus. Là c'est très bien. J'ai demandé 4 fois à mes connecteurs, personne l'a fait. Mais bon, c'est pas grave, on oublie. Allez, go.
Not having as much fun. Get back on Skyscraper. Are we?
We're longing for the Skyscraper day.
Yeah. They were making funny sounds and saying, focus, focus, focus. That tone has changed, and rightfully so, because again, BDS arguably one of the favorite teams to take it, you know, all the way to top 4, top 2 in some people's opinions. They won the Union Major, they won at Gamers 8, they won in Japan for the show match. They have had a phenomenal last 4 to 6 months in their Rainbow Six Siege run, so to speak. And the fans, all their teams at this event, they recognize the strengths that BDS they have as a team. BDS are not showing up to their own standards so far. CAG 2 days ago lost against them. Now, almost went sour. Maya got shut down. I mean, if I'm getting a 1 versus 4 clutch like that, I am spawn peeking as well.
Nick, look at this.
Yeah.
Hold the phone, 15 seconds in. BDS have 2 kills.
Well, we've seen this before. Last round, League Effect on Jackal got a double kill. BDS still lost the round. Only difference now is Maya is in the grave. That clutch potential is gone. So is Dash. Perhaps BDS really want this round.
They just needed to be yelled at by their coach. That's really all it would boil down to.
Bomb located by attackers.
Be a lot of quiet right now. BDS can take their time. We're still at 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say it. BDS, there is no way you lose this one. They are taking their time as they should, right?
Why would you do such a thing?
No, I have to. This is the ultimate challenge for them. If you can build up your mental in group stage for the main event and playoffs, that's the best place to do so. Now, you are sitting tight, not taking any risk. It's a 1v5 rise. Give us your best clutch attempt.
Time for a wake-up call.
Oh, return back to the bomb site, greeted by one of the logic bombs.
Là, ils sont donnés, hein. J'ai tué le mec dans le main, qui a double spawn.
Non, mais là, il y a eu un excès de confiance, là, en fait.
Ah, on les tient,
Go les baiser, là, on n'est pas des salopes.
Eh, on les baisse, frère. Eh, ils se prennent pour qui, là? C'est du random de merde, là. Go les baiser.
Can't tell if he's upset by the general state of things.
Yeah,
or upset with his team. Either way, obviously an emotional conversation that is occurring there. BDS very nearly bounced back after 4 frustrating rounds for the team. With a flawless? No, but nearly.
Yeah.
Single death, that was it. But the death was required to determine the location of the last lost one player and then get the pick. BDS finally get on the board. It comes after their timeout. More like that. That's what we need. And I mean, hey, what happened in the previous map? Loss, blow 2 rounds. BDS wins them, they call a timeout. Loss wins 6 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
The same thing happened in the very first map too. BDS went up 4-0. Loss called a timeout, and they win 4 of the next 5 rounds. Unfortunately, it was a little bit too much. They were in too deep of a hole. BDS are about to do the same thing as long as they can win a couple more rounds. They'll be in very familiar territory for us in this matchup.
Yeah.
But again, how steep is that climb?
One thing to note is that Lost won last round. We're defending Master Bedroom bomb site. They're going straight back to it. Characteristically, you're not going to do that unless it's because you deem that what happened is not something that's supposed to happen, right? Maya, with that amount of adrenaline just flew out the window, had to take a gunfight, got shut down. And it just seemed kind of like Lost One had this very aggressive type of a round. They're not going to do that again, right? Now we're playing more organized. One Maya discs, playing passive. No Oryx, keep it barriers. Now we're going to make BDS problem solve this library situation, this library hold, and not give them any easy way in. So that's going to change the entire flow of this round to come.
As we see with these Azami players, you want to stay upstairs in library. Use your Kiba barriers to establish basically deployable shields that prevent the opponents from getting to you. Make them expend those explosives so that they can have a clear line of sight, a clear line of attack. Alems just walks right in. Lobin looked lost, droned out, and in a panic, decided not to go up library stairs, but instead goes down into the ground, 6 feet under.
It's also very much alone. I mean, although 4 members of Lost One, they're on the bomb site itself. Lobin basement blue stairs, essentially, so far of his teammates. That's a risk and a half.
It's an engagement that doesn't go in either player's way. EFAC just outside of the bathroom window, but an escape for Lost One. Back over towards Solarium. Oh, wait a minute. Maya might want to actually go for something here on this window. By Piano. There's a Claymore on the ground. A jump out would be very ill-advised. Maya doesn't have any impacts in his pocket, so can't toss it down, can't be of use. He'll die to the Claymore. At best, trades out 1v1, gets the kill before the Claymore ultimately does him in. Still searching for double digits. The closest player in the lobby to double digits at the moment. Down goes Dash to Alems. BDS so desperately need yet another round. EFAC missing out on the Aruni of Rise. Maybe a sightline is there to be found. 2 Surya gates prevent him from rappelling in without taking any damage. The flash goes in as BDS are stacked up by the office wall. Toxic gas lingers in front of their path. Maya waiting for the jump out, but nobody's going to give it to him. Gets his attention, but that's just about it. All the while, the clock is continuing to go down. Dots dies. EFAC traded out. Shaiko walks right into Maya's waiting arms. Diffuser planted, so now Maya will scramble. He and Rise are the last 2 left. Losing in the engagement against Brede. Rise in the very familiar position. Almost right where his teammate had passed away from. BDS with 3 sets of eyes. Rise absolutely 0 intel off of this one. Finds the first player of BDS but loses the duel. BDS 2 in a row, and that's the first half in the books.
As long as Maya's alive, I don't really think it matters what BDS tries to do, because that man right now is just finding these absurd kills. I mean, that is a post-plan 3 versus 5. He's still almost on 3 kills in a single magazine. Pistol whips, almost gets another. It's a huge play from him. 4-2 scoreline, BDS, they're still in it. They go on defense. They start basement as well, also hovering the Mira and the Maestro. So BDS, if they're not comfortable in their gunfighting capabilities right now, they no longer have to rely on it as much as when they're on the attack inside, because now you stout the entire map in your control, and you can set up these problems for the enemy to solve. Now the only downside is, Lost One, they're playing Latam. And the best Chalet team in the world, arguably, is W7M. They're also from that same region. They scrim each other quite a bit, I can imagine. I don't think there are many problems you can put in their face they don't have a solution for. The second they see the setup, 4 attacker remix goes through. Double Heartbreach, Hibana and Thermite. So ranged and quote-unquote melee Heartbreach. Capital Fire and Smokes. Twitch smokes and the Twitch drones that can clear out utility and the mirror windows themselves. Lost One, they have a task ahead of them, but it seems like they have it all under control so far. Brede being wise here, checking the drone hole, gets the first drone. 1 sap went off, not sure what it found, maybe nothing, maybe a jammer. Main breach can be opened up from Lost One, but they choose to go elsewhere instead. Lobin on 1 hot breach on that office balcony. Gonna start droning at the top floor and see what the whereabouts are. Twitch drone successfully gets the first mirror window on library. That's gonna make the entry a lot easier for them once they go there.
A lot of value out of this Twitch drone just in the early phases of the round. I like the Capitao pick a lot.
underrated, as far as I would say.
I like the Capitao pick. I like the Twitch pick. Lems gets a drone, but it's immediately shot out. At least the Pest has done its job of stopping the drone from getting any information. Maybe temporarily.
Stun grenade out.
Flash goes in, out on the balcony. Lost One has struggled with being able to get into the building on time. Skyscraper, issue was there. Villa, issue wasn't quite as prevalent. But with half of the round still to go, Lost One's focus is just on clearing that top floor, which, mind you, can be a very sticky situation for teams. But this is a snowmobile basement defense.
In general, Lost One just seems to kind of need to feel out their opponent, right? They need 2 or 3 attacking rounds to kind of warm up to it. Then they start doing what they actually want to do, it seems like. At least in the previous maps. They still got a minute. The pace here isn't too far off. The only concerning thing is that it's a 5v5, so it's gonna get really bloody once, you know, that execute comes through, because there are 5 guns on both sides of this.
Bomb has been located.
This wall. There's the basement bomb side.
But I absolutely love it. When 9 or 10 players are still alive in the final 20 seconds.
So much.
It is brutally tough to watch and brutally tough to cast, but so brutally exciting at the same time. Is that a drop?
Yeah, he dropped.
EFAC reads into Dash's position, loses the fight. Maya, gunned down by Shaiko Alems as well, stopping them from getting closer to the bomb site. Renshiro with one, Loban another. Lost One, trail in terms of these numbers. Another drop from Dash, but you can't outduel that F2. It's just got too high of a fire rate. There's a wake of bodies that often get left by a Twitch. Now it's Dots to drop. Makes noise. Nitro Cell goes out. Dots pushes the engagement, sets us up for a 1v1 with Shaiko, but we'll need to plant. Close enough to that 7-second timer. Shaiko will need to run in, and he should be able to get it, but he falls off at the last second, denying BDS and Shaiko the kill. Clock gives it to the French squad. That's their 3rd in a row.
The one thing that Lost One did not achieve in that round was breaking the floor inside a fireplace, get some of that verticality onto the members of BDS, pushing them further back towards the bomb site, denying that mirror window location. It was either a mixture of A, didn't have enough time, or B, didn't have enough soft destruction in the right position to do so. Either way, it was their demise in the end. And BDS, they can start building up these rounds to tie things up. A atypical operator, League Effect, bring out the Ella on Chalet. We don't see that very often, but when it does get picked, it's to deny these entry points that you don't necessarily have that much information about. The thing about, you know, the Banshees of Melusi, barbed wire, the beat boops that we call them, those motion detectors, they don't make an audio sound that is necessarily that loud. It can be hard to kind of figure out in the midst of a round of a gunfight and whatnot. But the Grismot mines, they go boom. They're very unique and distinct to find, so when you slap them down on important areas, it can be basement stairs, it can be somewhere far in the distance, typically, you'll hear it. You'll know something's going on. Combine that with 2 pieces of barbed wire, and Ella gives you a ton of information. You hear a barbed wire punch, you know they're there. Christmas mine goes off, you know they're there instead. Of course, the gun, the Scorpion, that's a bit of a different story. Some people love it, and some people simply just hate it. Again, the Twitch drone value, 1 Griswold mine found on the West Main stairs going up from the basement.
Not just intel, but also, yeah, taking out all these different gadgets that have been thrown out by the defenders.
Yeah.
Alems was spotted in the process. Lost One, quick to be in the building, still over 2 minutes to go. West Main wall being shot up. Alems is in that same area, and that DMR packs a punch. He gets slaughtered by Dash. Lost One, after winning those 4 rounds in a row, have now surrendered 3 in a row to Team BDS. These teams love their streaks. Map 1, BDS wins 4 in a row. Lost then wins 3 in a row, back and forth, relatively, until the matchup ends. BDS wins 2 on Villa. Lost wins 6 in a row. Now, Lost One have won 4 in a row, and BDS have won 3 in a row. There is no seesaw here, and if there is, it's taken a while for it to hit the ground and bounce right back up.
Shag was playing do or die inside of office, 2 walls reinforced towards master bedroom. Lost One could say, we want this free kill, but the thing is, Shaco is never really truly a free kill to be found. League Effect is have a backup. Crossfire is there. He's a rotate out, actually. Could escape if he wants to.
Drone activated. Connection severed.
That is always scary. They fall back. They waste some time, denied information. Lost One have to re-drone that area again. The clone gets shot. You have to assume he might still be around. Library balcony here from Dots and Lobin has to make something work for them. Because again, time is a problem. 45 seconds left.
There go the Candelas. Dash on the precipice. Bride ends him, but it's another high rate of fire weapon in the hands of EFAC to slaughter that player from Lost One. Maya up top, 12 kills to his name. But when he drops into the lobby, it'll be Shaiko to confront him, unless Lobin can get to him first. Unaware that there's one playing under the stairs, Shaiko just needs to wait and hear those footsteps, play off of the audio, play off of his teammates as well. It's a standoff between these teams. The site is pretty much empty. It's anyone's for the taking. Who will take it first? Lobin with one onto Bride, taken out by Shaiko. The Storm low on ammunition. He needs to go for a reload. Diffuser going down, stopped in its tracks by EFAC. And that's the clock yet again to give it to BDS. 2 rounds in a row that BDS has won thanks to the seconds running out.
Yeah.
It's a tie game, Nick.
It is tied up 4-4. Time running out is one problem. Yes, that BDS played that 2v2 beauty. Look at this. Shaiko, he plays a distraction game. Leafek sneaks on in. The cover is looking the wrong direction. So Leafek denies the plan. Oh no. Is he gonna be the coach buff? Lost One. Because every time this happens, they get like 4 rounds in a row at least. He's very calm this time. Very different tone than the timeout on Villa. They recognize they have the lead in a good spot. Well, they're 4-4, but they had the lead. They're not making glaring mistakes either. It's small things, really.
Much calmer this time.
Much calmer, yeah.
Much calmer. Again, one thing that we've been trying out, Nick and I in particular, I can't speak for the other casters, but a couple days ago, Nick and I realized that we could hear the comms of the teams quite clearly, whether it be the players or the coaches, and, well, we do enough talking for multiple lifetimes. Things that we say are not always as interesting as the actual commentary that you get from the teams, whether it be a mid-round listen-in, a post-round bit of smack talk, or a coach trying to shore up the weaknesses of a team that is clearly struggling. Losing 4 rounds in a row, Lost One is clearly struggling. Unfortunately, we can't speak Portuguese. But if there's anybody who can speak Portuguese listening, hopefully you gain some valuable insight. We're also content creators because this creates content wherein people who speak these languages can turn around and translate for the greater community.
It's true.
We're really humble people. Either way, when Lost One took their time out previously, all the way back on Villa, there was frustration, there was anger, there was lots of shouting, impassioned. It was far quieter and far calmer. I think that's because up to that point, Lost One had not really seen any measurable success on these 2 maps, not to their own standards. 7-4 victory on map number 2, I suppose, is enough to kind of calm the nerves a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose you can say there is disappointment, and then there is acknowledging that you can do better. And I think that's a very big difference between that tactical timeout and the one prior. And Lost One, as I mentioned, they have done good on Chalet so far. They truly have. This is not them throwing away rounds, besides maybe that crazy aggressive spawn peak, but that can go 50-50 either way. If Maya jumps out and gets 2 kills, I mean, then they maybe win the round instead of lose the round. We can't fault players taking risks and seeing opportunities, because that's how clutch and crazy moments they arise. Lost One, they are still playing it very calm and collected, which last round on bar attack wasn't a problem for them. Planting at the very last dire few seconds in the round, BDS are punishing it very well. No echo being brought out from BDS in a way that surprises me. But at the same time, Not a lot of safety nets area or safety areas rather to be on drones for 20-30 seconds at a time. Good gun, however. That 1.5% echo can go a long way, but BDS goes on Maestro instead. Similar job. It's downstairs bomb site defense, but the action's all upstairs. League Effect finds Dot and Candelas, they go flying.
They absolutely do, but first kill goes to BDS, traded back really quickly. 1 minute to go in this round. Lost One's pacing has been the main focal point for them on attack. It's like they get bogged down, lost in a quagmire, but they're finding kills right now. EFAC is gone. BDS trail in terms of numbers, and both Renshiro and Alems are exceptionally weak. Well, Alems, he's quite weak. He's dead. Renshiro's next up, same window. Will he inhabit the same spot that Alems was laid to rest? Droned out on those library solarium stairs, or on those trophy solarium stairs, rather. He knows that there's an engagement, losing more HP, trying to get away, but look at this. Lost One, if 4 players still alive, they've isolated Renshiro. He's close enough to the bomb site that he can still make some serious noise, and he does just that. Renshiro with 2. Suddenly, it's Loban in a 1v2, and as he drops, there's 2 separate players from BDS who can make something happen. They won't expose themselves. Renshiro! He's inside a trophy, and those are trophy kills. BDS, 5 rounds in a row.
We can praise friends all we want, but every single player and every single team needs a friend like BDS. The suppressing fire all the way from dining with the ult there, it's turning the members of Lost One's heads toward his direction, and Renshi, he gets into a better position because of it. Disgusting shots that he's hitting, but the supportive network from BDS in these 2v2s or 2v3s is turning the tide in their favor. For the first time on Chalet, BDS are in the lead. League Effect just opens the hatch casually, jumps up, says, I don't need stairs. I'm faster than that. I'm Oryx. I'll jump up the hatch instead.
Life is too short for stairs.
Whoop. Reminds me of the robots do it better as well. Curious now. Lost One, operator-wise, what they can do. I personally, for some of these bomb sites, basement is one of them. I'm a big fan of Ossa, personally. Sit down that talent shield, play behind it, makes life a bit easier. I like the Jackal, try and find some members of BDS that are roaming around, because they will be roaming around the map indeed. They keep forcing out the Ying, which honestly, if you get to the bomb site, is not a bad thing at all, but I don't think they have enough time to fully execute with the gadgetry available. And the Candelas don't really do anything for the first 2 minutes of the round, if not 2.5 minutes. And that is where Lost One, they're falling short. It's not an execute, they're getting pretty far to the bomb site, but they need a bigger advantage and more time to fully operate that execute.
Maya, absolutely the standout performer on Lost One. And really kind of covering up for the fact that 2 players, one of whom should really be performing better, Dash in this particular instance, though to be fair, playing more of a support role on attack here, kind of papering over the issues that they've had.
Rise is in. Most of Lost One they are. Pace is looking good. 1:45 to go. BDS mostly forced back towards the bomb site, which is in the basement, so far off this top floor hold, but look at the verticality here. Sledge from Rise has to be enabled now. Get into Fireplace momentarily, open up that soft floor, make BDS's lives in the basement a complete nightmare to play in. That is how you're gonna break this round apart. You can get most things denied, gadgetry, wall deny. Verticality gives you everything here.
You know, people often forget that you can actually use those Candela charges like fuse cluster charges.
Dropped in the floor, yeah.
Could easily just put it in the floor and then it drops down below in that electric light show. Nitro Cell goes off. BDS pick up kill number 1, and it's the Sledge gone. The bulk of your soft destruction completely removed. Suppose you still have the secondary shotgun for Loben as an insurance policy, but you don't really want to be using that. That's more of in a pinch.
It's also too slow with 40 seconds. You want the hammer on the block. Block is banned. The sledge is dead. You just lost your biggest advantage.
Down goes the grenade. Opens up the opportunity for the wall to be breached forward. Lost one, get 3 very fast kills. Dash in particular. It's like the reverse caster curse. Said he wasn't doing well enough, and suddenly he's doing more than enough. BDS has an answer for that. The 2 players from BDS were outnumbered, doubled up on. But if there's ever a chance for you to push to match point, this is it. It'll all fall onto the shoulders of EFAC as Bride is now gone from Loben on main stairs, but they know where he is. They've isolated him, and he's good as gone. Lost one, break the 5-round streak that BDS was on, and they've now tied the game themselves.
Find those kills, made all the difference. It comes down to gunfights time and time again. Bomb site-wise, if BDS, well, they start losing these rounds as they, just did, they had to question where to go next. It's been relatively easy for them. They went basement, they won. They went bar, they won. They went diving, they won. Then they try and, follow that same rotation. They go basement for a second time. They lose it. Instead of going back there immediately, they're going to go to that second victory. That was bar. But if they lose bar now, not only is Lost One going to be a match point, 6-5, but also, where do you go next? Every single bomb site's open, but none of them right now are granting you the assault that you need. That can be some of the toughest decisions to make on a match point as a defender. Where do we go to win? That is the plan. Sometimes you're choosing where you go to lose. Have to see out. Bar first is on the table in front of us. All 5 attackers getting re-picked. Nothing really standing out too much, but there is one familiar face that we saw in Villa earlier. The Fingap being brought back to life. They want that boost in the gunfights. The revive across the map. That extra bit of health if you take a bit of damage. It can really go a long distance for you.
Very pivotal round. It's my favorite round in Rainbow Six, by the way. It's my favorite round. Why? Because no matter who wins, we go to match point. This could be the penultimate round. It's so exciting. Dots is on more of that support-oriented role at the moment on Finka. 2 and 8. I can understand why you would want to take a bit of a backseat, let the others get the kills. A big round from Loben and a big round from Dash after they'd also had semi-disappointing performances in their capacities as fraggers. EFAC finding the very first player on Lost One. Down goes Dots. That was the Finka. 2 and 9 in a pivotal match is just simply not good enough on that roll.
Did he jump in the window?
I don't know.
Diffuser, he did with Diffuser. That has to be an accidental, a mistake. Jumping in might have been intentional, but with Diffuser there's no way. And League of Fact punishes Loben afterwards as well. That could be the round for Lost One. Diffuser in Library is the worst place it could possibly be in, as that's under control of the defenders entirely, especially with those 2 deaths. League of Fact might just have done the biggest play of this match so far for his sake. Let's see if Lost One can pull it back.
Feeling eerily similar to what we saw where these teams were streaking. There was a single round to break that streak, but then business carried on as usual. And it sure seems like business as usual for BDS. Showing signs as the team that won the major in Jönköping. Maya can make some magic happen though. That 1v4 clutch has to be up there for one of the finest plays of this tournament so far. Wait to see if there's anything that can top it. For now though, Maya's only good enough for a single kill in that engagement. Rise is good enough for 1 too, but there's 3 more. And there's very limited HP of Rise. Not much Rise to go around. 30 seconds to go. This is winnable. So I don't expect that we're going to see him take a step back and maybe pause like we've seen before. He doesn't have any gadgets though, that's the problem. No flashbangs, Nick. No EE1D. And because he had to shoot through that mudroom door, they know exactly where he is. Wandering through a part of the map where he can't get wall-banged is not a bad thing, but then he has to go through a doorway that's going to be watched by multiple people. BDS gets the final kill of the round. BDS on series point.
Now the pressure really is on. I'm getting flashbacks to the hero game that we cast. Where oNe goes, guys, it's just like 0-0. You see an opening, you take it. You're gonna make a play, you do it. Don't be affected by the scoreline, whether it's overtime, whether you're behind or ahead, match point, series, whatever. You have to play your own game. This goes for both teams, by the way. BDS cannot let the fact that they're almost winning be a problem for them and play too passive. And Lost One cannot be scared to lose, essentially, and therefore not act accordingly. You can play to win, or you can play to lose. Playing to win means playing by acting, by trying, by doing. Gotta do that just now, right here. New operators being shown, Nomad and Osa for Lost One. Of course, with 15 seconds to go, they could still change that to something else, but it would be the first time we've seen it being brought out. Whereas BDS, I mean, they're playing Frost pretty frequently. That's when Shiro, as always, casts the barricades to deny some of the angles on the window repels. And perhaps the piano window itself as well. Yep, there it is. Deployable shields being put down the ground. BDS, they're gonna hold this like a fortress upstairs. And again, it's one of those bomb sites, playing the dining kitchen one here on Chalet. You can hold majority of it from above. So as long as top floor is in the control of the defenders, they don't have to worry about the bomb set itself all too much. Lost One are pretty much forced to pick that apart. They don't really have many options. Going basement up a staircase is not gonna grant you much. Getting top floor control, however, is going to give you the entire kingdom. But it's not easy. 4 members await you. Last time BDS defended this bomb site, they were victorious off that Renshiro Bride 2v3 clutch.
Literal do or die round for Lost One. It's a competitive group, by the way, Nick. You need every single point that you can get. Saw that with that CAG matchup against BDS. Yeah. The landscape of this group also includes Astralis, OXG, who we've talked about a lot because of the fact they played BDS. OXG has the day off today. The other matchup that might still be taking place, might not, we're not going to spoil it for you, Astralis versus Cyclops. We haven't really been given any intel or updates. You're just going to have to go figure that one out for yourself. We're starting to see a landscape of what this second stage is going to look like. Will it include Lost One? Will it include BDS? It doesn't include Alems, at least not this round it doesn't. Got slaughtered inside of the bathroom. Lost One, good enough for that early pick in this execute. Not early in the round. Again, Lost One have spent a lot of time outside of the building. Scheiko goes for the jump out. Maybe not the smartest plan. Loban is there to greet him. And it's a warm, deadly embrace. Struggling to get in up top, but then punishing the roamers. You have a minute to jump in, clear out 1 or 2 more remaining roamers, should they exist, and then get to the bomb site down below.
Yeah. And with Sledge alive again, destroy that floor. Okay, I thought Sledge died to the C4 again. No, this time it's Dash on the Ash. So, and there you see, that single Sledge hole in the floor denies the previous Renshiro position where that clutch happened. The talent shields again, granting so much information. This is looking good for Lost One.
Wouldn't think it's this low into the round with how quiet it is. But BDS needs to stave off Lost One. They light up dots as there goes the Talon shield. Loban on coverage. EFAC says no thank you. Diffuser going down. It's Renshiro to clutch out. Who's able to do it before? Not this time. Rise sends us to overtime.
And well deserved. The adaptations right now from Lost One and sheer operator pick. The Nomad didn't do too much, I'll give you that. But the Osa, walking down the Solarium staircase like a Monty, checking every corner, delivering diffusers safely into the bomb site. Honestly, I don't know how they expect to plan without the Talon shield to save them that particular round. And time was running rather low for them, but for once, they had all the tools they needed for that not to be the difference maker. And BDS, they're far away inside of dining, cannot destroy the Talon shield, cannot get a line of sight on the other remaining members of Lost One. That's gonna force overtime on the final map in the series. BDS will start on defense, as you can tell. Lost One will start on attack, and basement is where things will start off. Overtime essentially is a best of 3 in terms of rounds. Win 2 and it is yours for the taking.
10 seconds left.
Starting defense or attack, honestly, I'm not sure what I would rather. It is relatively even on Chalet between these two teams. It comes down to A, what bomb site you're playing on, and B, obviously execution. The early round opening kill has been an important factor for most of these rounds. Lem's dying previously inside the bathroom early, when BDS played 4 versus 5, then they get desperate, Shackles tries to, make a hero play, he fails, then it's 3 versus 5. Just like 4 rounds earlier, League walks in, gets a double kill, 3 versus 5. Things really start shaping up off that first or second kill between these two teams. Lost One, they're aware of that fact. They're playing very slowly and they're playing off information every step of the way. Main breach gets opened up. Dash tosses that Twitch drone on the backside, trying to get them. Oh, look at this, the read. Oh no! He had it, but then he didn't.
Mute jammer, Goyo canister, and mural window.
And he's out.
And he's out, and the drone is still intact.
Oh. Might need a second exothermic charge on that wall, good sir.
What the hell happened there?
The exothermic charge only broke 1 layer, is what happened essentially.
Ah, of course.
Unless, wait, actually? Okay, no. It has to be what happened. You can't impact trick the far right outside the wall. I was gonna say Rinji lost on impact, but there's no way.
What kind of blunder
Rise just jumps in.
transpired. In the building, he's broken double digits now as well, Rise has.
Ooh, you can tell. Lost One are not taking any risks right now. I mean, they're fighting, don't get me wrong, but that talent shield in Dots' hands, it's not leaving. He's swinging everything with it in his hand, saying, I do not want to die. And Dots, he's 3-9, so statistically not having the greatest game, but he's also playing these kind of flex roles and supported roles. He played the finger before, again, tried to do supportive cast, jumped in a little too aggressively with the Diffuser. There we see, Rise did not have information, gets swung by League. It's BDS with the advantage.
And that's the first kill as well. 1 minute to go, only 1 death. Less than a minute to go, actually. Showing how powerful Asa can be. Those Talon shields that you can just literally set down and plant behind. If you've bled out the Nitro cells and the impacts, well, you could show how just potent they are. Easy kill, by the way, onto EFAC, who seemed like his controller disconnected. Upstairs inside a kitchen, now it's Shaiko splattered, his Loban drops and finds 2! He's looking for a 3rd, cannot fully connect. Bride and Alems are the last 2 standing. Alems to soften one up inside of connector. Dots in the midst of the fire will push on out, losing his life to the fire and the Nitro cell. Bride will need to be the one to clutch, but he can't! Series point for Lost One.
The trade as well. Nice shots for both Maya and Bride. But they had 1 more member alive. If he's getting planted, it means the Tigers, they win. BDS, it looked great for them, but then all of a sudden, there's like Thermite dropping hatch, Loban getting 2.5 kills in the round. The time running so low, sub 12 seconds, the Goyo fire, while Lost One were forced to push through it. It's why Dots and Dash both were so low in HP. They couldn't wait out the 20 seconds because they didn't have 20 seconds. That is where Goyo is the scariest operator in the game. It was almost enough to just outright win it for BDS. But it's Lost who takes it. They go bar on their first and only defense in overtime because it's going to be BDS twice in defense if we go a 3rd round. Team Lost only get a single chance at this. So bar has been what they heavily prefer. They deem this to be their best chance, and they actually are bringing out the Echo. Something that we thought BDS might do earlier in the game. Whereas BDS's answer so far for this bar attack is going to be utility. Ying and Capital and Dokkaebi, smokes, flashbangs on fire, likely to peel off the library members to make that a bit easier on them. Claymores, of course, stop any jump outs from happening. help easing out that balcony location as well. Thing is, Lost One aren't playing deep in library. They're playing far back. They got Warden there who cannot be flashed or smoked. The only thing is there are no keeper barriers. These lines of sight are going to stay the same. They will not be altered, changed, or anything.
1 round, 2 rounds left. Anybody's guess. BDS will confront the upstairs portion of this map, starting with the library side.
Oh, that's one shot. Look at the HP off Rise.
I mean, those DMRs do so much damage, Nick. Such an incredible amount of damage. A single shot is enough to topple an awful lot of players, especially if they've taken an arrow to the knee from somebody else. Candelas go in, and EFAC has conquered library. Look at how close Rise is. Do they know he's just sitting there? He might be in for a bit of a jump scare himself. Bomb site down below, and they'll read into it and see that it's completely empty. BDS loves nothing more than a free bomb site. If there's nobody watching that window, he could hop on in. Clone going in. Sounds like it was shot away by Rise. There goes the yokai drone. They know he's in the corner. See, Shaiko is aware of the position of him. Gives Shaiko free passage, but there's Maya and Rise as well. Lost One taking 3 players of BDS out. They've lost some HP in the process. But it just leaves BDS and Renshiro to get the job done. An upset. Possibly brewing? Not entirely certain.
It's possible. They've done it before. Not a 2v5, but a 2v3. And they're gonna try their very best.
And in goes the Ying of BDS. He's got nothing. Renshiro a single kill, and in an act of desperation will twist and turn up by the chimney. Another to be found. He gets blasted by the yokai drone. Renshiro knows there's one to the left in engagement. Renshi's winning all these gunfights. 3 kills so far. An ace clutch needed for Renshiro to move him and his team to a final round against Lost One. But the problem is the time. He's only got 11 seconds left, about the same amount of HP that he has, and Dash does not let it go on any longer. Lost One are fired up. They topple BDS 2-1.
A big cause of celebration. Beating BDS is never going to be easy, and Maya did it, dropping 17 kills on the 3rd map, winning the 1 versus 4, but it is a team effort. The synergy from these 5 members of Team Lost really showed up when it mattered the most. The tactical timeouts from their coach also had a massive effect every single time. That's a 6-man team right there.
I mean, sometimes you need a bit of a pep talk, and sometimes you need to get some proper strategy going. And if you're a younger player or if you're a younger team, anything really helps. Group C, the group in which both of these teams play, so competitive. Astralis, BDS, Cyclops, OXG, and Lost One all entered with about the same amount of points. Lost One were actually in dead last in the group, no longer. And it's every other team that suffers. OXG had the day off. They watched this match with bated breath, I'm certain. And if you look at all the other 3 groups, Nick, we're starting to see some clear winners and some clear losers.
Yeah.
Not the case. Not the case at all. BDS suffering another loss, hard fought, but still a loss against Lost One.
Yeah, I mean, it all kind of boils down to Villa for BDS. That's kind of where things fell flat for them. And I heard the analyst in the channel room saying, BDS on Villa? I wonder how that's gonna go. Well, we found out. Back to the board they will go, figure out what map pool they will go, into in the future.
Absolutely. That's it for us. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nick and myself. We still have another match to go here. Sit tight, though. We'll be right back.
I'm Nicholas Morton, but you know me as Pingu. I'm a two-time Rainbow Six Siege World Champion and former top Rainbow Six Siege player in Pro League. Welcome to my Siege Ranked Bootcamp. We're talking 20 seconds left on the clock, you got the diffuser in hand, what do? Play the way that you're comfortable with, because you have confidence when you're in this position. That is when you're gonna be at your very best. Good luck.
BDS has now lost 2 series here at SI, and real talk, this comes down to the maps. Y'all got real fired up during map bans, and we're gonna dive deep into that. But honestly, I'm shocked. I have covered 2 SIs now, and the last one for BDS, not pretty. I hope we're not having deja vu here, but we're gonna dive right into map 1. BDS's map pick, Skyscraper 7-4. So, Anne, BDS started off extremely strong, but Lost One battled back, and yeah. I'm not sure. What did BDS do well here? Let's be positive first. Let's be positive, okay?
Well, they started off really strong, picking up 4 rounds. And I mean, the very first round feels like it's been ages ago, but they understood what was needed to get the plan down. They needed to get rid of the solos. They got the plan down, got those first 4 rounds. And then we saw the magic of Lost One's tactical timeouts. They called a tactical timeout, won 3 rounds in a row, made a small comeback, and well, something I did see from them as well, specifically on this map that I wanted to see, was a little bit more flexibility. They played all 4 defensive bomb sites that you can play on this map. Despite they've lost it, but this was when it was still looking good for BDS.
And we had to reproduce the pre-match graphic because Lost One went and they banned Ayana, the one operator across 2 best-of-3s that Shaiko had played. So Shaiko has now doubled the operators that he played, because on Skyscraper he played exclusively Ashe on attack. So yeah, I thought actually just coming back to BDS and that point around BDS was that they actually had a pretty strong game there. I think BDS, they love attacking Skyscraper. It's one thing that they are phenomenally good at. We've seen them across the EUL, the last major. They're great at attacking that map. They set themselves up at a 4-2 half, even if Lost One tried a bit of a comeback, and then they was able to see it out once they got onto that favorable side.
Okay, so we're done talking about map 1 because things get real crazy once we get to map 2 and map 3. So let's talk about map 2, and that's Lost One's map pick. Fresh.
Yep.
Frankly, we were shocked that BDS let Villa get into the series.
Yeah, and that's the top and bottom of it. I think, you know, just to be blunt, I think BDS, I said it was a brave call, and that they thought that maybe Lost One weren't, you know, as good as an opponent as others that they might face. So they let their weak maps through. Allowing Villa to go through when Lost One had absolutely just dismantled everybody they had recently to even get to this tournament was a huge blunder. We've seen BDS do this before, but win out on those maps to give themselves a ban advantage. I think this is the first time that they've ever lost it, and you know, we saw why Lost One were so formidable in the quals on Villa.
Yeah, BDS won the first 2 rounds, and then we had another magical timeout come in from Lost One. They called a tactical timeout, and then won 6 rounds in a row. That is incredible. To keep up that momentum is insane. And even if you looked or listened to the timeouts of the 2 different coaches from both sides, they sounded so different. When there was a Lost One timeout, it was very calm, very relaxed, and when there was a BDS timeout, Stuflik sounded super, well, angry almost towards his players.
Angry is a good word.
Frustrated.
I mean, we're very fortunate that our talent manager speaks French, so we was able to get the BDS timeouts translated, and I cannot repeat them. That's all I'm saying. He was angry, and he was letting his players know he was angry.
Yeah, please don't get us in trouble, because we definitely cannot say on air what was said. I do want to pick your brain a little bit more about these tactical timeouts. Like, we don't know what's being said there, right? But talk to me about the shift that happened in Lost One. Like, were there things that you specifically saw that you were really impressed by?
Well, you know, 60 seconds is not a lot of time in a tactical timeout. Right? You can't go fully rehearse your strategies and everything again. Sometimes you have that good of a bond with a coach that he will have to say like a few words or a few things that you speak about that will then put you in the right momentum. And I feel like if we look at Lost One so far this game, they really thrive with that momentum. As soon as they get those 1-2 rounds after tactical timeout, they will be able to get some more right after.
Okay, we're getting down to the dirty. Map 3, Chalet. I mean, I'm honestly still sweating from Map 3 Chalet if you see the little dots all over me. I know I'm not talking about the crystals. Like, I'm sweaty from Map 3, okay? Same question, Fresh. How did this map get here?
BDS. Again, you know, going to, and I talk about map preferences a lot, and I talk about how BDS have a 9-map pool. Villa is preference 9, Chalet is preference 8. They really don't like either of these maps. So to even go through to Chalet again on the decider, any other map, literally any other map, BDS would have had a much better chance. But they went to Chalet. Now, when they played Chalet, they were genuinely, you know, decent. They've gone to overtime at it. It was a close game. However, they were very, very sloppy. Now, I'm going to reference the 1v4 because it's the very obvious thing to reference.
Yeah.
But when do we ever see BDS peak one by one by one by one? We don't. It's not what happens to BDS. And they've been exhibiting those kind of behaviors that look a little bit more individual than as a complete unit, as a complete team.
Exactly, yeah. Especially if you're going into maps that you don't really play, you really need that teamwork to be okay if you want to stand a chance. And something that we heard in the broadcast as well, I think Parker mentioned this, you know, Cyclops did it against BDS, but here also just two people spawn peeking at windows. They really tried to get under BDS's skin, really be in their faces and play super aggressive. And well, that worked really well against BDS today.
I'm sorry, I was just pointing out Maya's celebration there. I mean, honestly, that got me emotional. I got chills from that 1v4. But Jack, I know that you want to comment on this a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think actually if we talk about the players involved, you know, Maya getting the 1v4, but also Maya and Lobin, both of them, we saw that when they played yesterday against Cyclops that it wasn't really either of them that were showing up, it was more dash dots. So to actually see these big game players show up when it mattered, we was looking for a little bit more from them yesterday, and we got it today. They've gone out and, you know, that's 2 back-to-back wins as well.
Well, since you're speaking about Maya, guess who got MVP? I mean, no surprise here, really, right, Ann?
No, that clutch was a really, really, really important round to get. I mean, the scoreline could have been completely different would he have not gotten that clutch. And especially for the mental as well, right? You're at a 4v1, you're thinking, all right, we're going to win that. We'll be fine. And then if you lose it, the few seconds afterwards, the team, you're thinking, wow, we really messed that up, and that could get to your mental.
I think expectations for Lost One, actually, you know, it was barely 24 hours ago because there was the last game on yesterday, right? So 24 hours ago, we're stood here, we're doing the pre-game, we've not seen them play, and we're saying we're not sure, you know, these guys, they've qualified, they lost Lagonis not that long ago. We don't know what their expectations are for the tournament. They sit top of their group right now, having beaten Cyclops, having beaten BDS in what is quite a competitive group. They're looking great to go out in the #1 seed, and they're doing it with a little bit of style and a lot of confidence.
Okay, I want to look ahead. Oh, I don't. BDS, I feel bad. Oh, what does the future hold for BDS? Who wants to take this one? I'm looking at both of you and you're both like...
They're currently third now, and they're separated by 1 point from the 2 teams that are underneath them. But the very important thing is they have a rest day tomorrow.
Okay.
So they only have 1 more chance to get points and separate themselves from the bottom 5 or the bottom 2 teams that are just hanging underneath them. And they'll be sitting tomorrow watching other teams potentially taking up really important points and taking up spots above them.
And we've said about BDS not struggling, you know, BDS struggling against aggression. They're playing against Astralis next as well. So there's a lot of pressure with Astralis, that's aggression, that's hero plays coming out of absolutely nowhere with Iconic, with, you know, Forest. So I do worry slightly for BDS. I think we're going to see them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think they'll have enough to get there just about.
Okay.
But they might have to be doing a lower bracket run or, you know, even a run from 3rd place.
Okay, really quickly too, we're running out of time here, but I do want to hear your thoughts about Lost One and how you think their future looks here.
Well, this looks really good. I mean, I think maybe some teams have been expecting them as like an underdog, or like even BDS said that maybe with letting 2 maps come through. That they would have thought they could easily beat Lost One on. So I think this is a really good sign for other teams to not underestimate Lost One.
I think when I looked at the map pools of Lost One particularly, I was kind of thinking when I looked at the graph and I looked at the statistics, I'm thinking Villa or Oregon, if they don't play either of those, what substance do they have? They've now backed that up over 2 days, that they've got 2 wins. Sure, they played Villa today, but the other maps, the maps they played yesterday against Cyclops and then winning out today on Chalet as well. I'm liking the look of this team. It looks like they've got a good competitive map pool and they're not afraid of anybody.
Man, SI, I just never know what to expect. I really didn't think BDS was going to lose this one, but again, SI, I feel like I just say that all the time. But anyway, all of you watching at home, do not go anywhere. We have our pre-show coming up for Dark Zero versus Secret. We'll be back in a flash. Don't go anywhere.